The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my left, we have a man that really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
Let's talk and great boxing.
Absolutely, man. Now, listen, we started a little bit late today. It's been a bit of a long day, been getting some things done, but listen, better late than never. Better late than never. It's better that we go live later than not go live at all. We got to keep it going for the people out there that really support and enjoy the work and content we put on this channel. Pops, how's your day been today? How you been feeling?
Oh, pretty busy. I just had to get a coffee to stay awake and come and talk boxing today. But anytime it's boxing, it gives me new life. Absolutely.
So we got a good show planned for you guys today. But we're gonna do this. Before I get into the topic, I'm gonna always let you guys know. I'm always gonna let you guys, keep you guys in tune with what's going on with the channel. So today, I went to a gym today, and I got about 3 interviews. So I got an interview with Chris Colbert coming out soon, who's fighting on February 26th. Stay tuned for that. I got an interview with Michelle Rivera, 135-pound contender. And I got an interview with, Eric Lantis Jr., one of Homestead's very own, 10-0 prospect. So stay tuned for all that. Also, Saturday, again, like I keep telling you guys, Saturday, we will be live for multiple fights. We'll be live in the afternoon for Liam Williams versus Chris Eubank Jr., which me and him are extra excited about. Yep. And then at night, we're going to be live for Carlos Cuadras, Bam Rodriguez, as well as Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. So just no shortage of things going on the channel. Really,
there's a lot of stuff going on.
Lot of stuff going on. Shout out to my main man. I see Robert from San Antonio. He says we're one deep in here. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Hey, audience of one. That's what it is.
All good.
We appreciate it either way. But listen, let's get into it, man. So I wanted to talk about Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios because I feel like we can't just be one-sided. We can't just be like, oh, Keith Thurman is just going to steamroll Barrios. It's boxing. And on any given night, any fighter that's the underdog has the capabilities to put things together. And, I think with this fight, you look at Keith Thurman, you look at like what his situation is coming into the fight. Keith Thurman hasn't boxed in damn near 3 years. Mm-hmm. He's fighting a Mario Barrios who, for good, bad, or indifferent, is a big guy. And he's a big guy. Tall, big, and unlike when he fought Gervonta Davis, he's not going to be weight drained, So these things bode well for him. Pops, how are you feeling, more so from like the Barrios standpoint? How do you feel about Barrios going into the fight Saturday?
I think I'm going to this fight. I like what you said from the beginning. In this fight, we won't have to worry about those weight training issues. It could make a fighter different when he goes out there and fights. And this fight, he's going to have a normal weight where he feels comfortable, that he knows that it's not going to affect his boxing skills. And I think he's going to come out more confident than ever because of the fact that he's not going to be coming to the fight with the weight training issue. The last fight, I said he really didn't impress me a lot. But hopefully now that he's not weight trained, maybe he come out and shout out and do something. On Keith Thurman's behalf, he can do all this talk, and he's very confident. He believes in himself. He should, but remember when you take a time off, sometime when you get into a fight with a live fighter, you got that ring rust in you.
Yeah, that can happen. So what I wanted to say was with this fight, right? Like Mario Barrios has everything to gain and nothing to lose, and sometimes those are the most dangerous fighters. Now, what I wanted to say is this, I'm not going to call it a trap fight, but it could become a trap fight for Keith Thurman because of the fact that, you talk about Barrios, you talk about what he has to gain from this fight, but like, I don't know, Pops, there was a bit of a controversy. I don't know if y'all saw, but if you didn't hear about it, let me be the first to tell you. There was a slight controversy today at the press conference, or maybe not a controversy. Maybe it was I don't know if controversy is the word, but there was an issue.
There was indifference.
There you go. Thank you, Dad. There's an indifference between the two fighters. So apparently, according to Mario Barrios, Keith Thurman requested 10-ounce gloves, and this is significant because anybody who's boxed knows that there's a big difference between 10-ounce gloves and 8-ounce gloves. And
it
may sound
not Barrios.
They both made claims.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. In difference, they both made claims that each requested. Now Keith Thurman came from the standpoint of like, look, I'm a world champion. I read all my contracts. Keith Thurman speaks for Keith Thurman as to where Barrios doesn't really speak for Barrios. He might be a little younger. He might have people reading through what he's got going on. So I don't know who to believe, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure who to believe. But what I can say is, if it is Keith, if somehow, some way it is Keith one-time Thurman that requested the 10-ounce gloves, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's good. I don't think it's good at all because, that lets me know that there's a lack of confidence. Either way, whoever it is, if it's Barrios, it's a lack of confidence on his end. If it's Thurman, it's a lack of confidence on his end. So, who do you believe? Tupac had that song.
I really like. I'm gonna say it. I think my favorite word again is experience.
Experience.
And I think with Keith Thurman, I truly believe that he's always been a good talker. But I think what he said today, as far as saying that he works with a promoter, he watches everything he does. I truly believe that he's actually into that. He also called out Barrios, and he also said to Barrios, he came out and said, Barrios, this is something you need to learn yourself. Don't just always go along for what other people do for you. Look in the what's that, black print?
The fine print. So Robert says, what's the difference between 8-ounce gloves and 10-ounce gloves? And that's a great question. So 10-ounce. So just so you know, just for anybody out there that may not know, because we're not just here to assume that everybody knows everything. You gotta put people on game. So the more ounces a glove is, the more padding there is, and the more heavier it is. So like, let's say, for example, heavyweights obviously have the heaviest gloves. Generally speaking, heavyweight gloves could be, 16 ounces. For sparring, the 16 ounces, sometimes they're 12. But normally, for heavyweights, you generally get in fights 16 to 12, but 16 being the highest. And every other weight class on fight night, the gloves are 8 ounces. And I'll tell you this, just from being so, listen, I never fought as a pro, but like when I train and I go to the boxing gym, I normally wear like 10 to 12 ounce gloves. And when I put them 8-ounce gloves on, it literally feels like you're not wearing anything. You feel like you could almost kill someone.
Wow.
That's the difference.
So you feel the true build.
You can really feel everything. So what I'm saying is if it's Thurman, if it's Thurman or Barrios that are requesting the 10-ounce gloves, one of them is lacking something. Right. One of them is lacking something, and if it's not them, it's their teams. Because why would 10-ounce gloves be requested for a welterweight fight? It's normally always 8 ounces. So if it's not the fighters themselves, it's someone on one of their teams. If it's Thurman's team or Barrios' team, because look, they always say in life, like, there's two sides to the story, but the truth is normally somewhere in the middle.
So basically, the lighter the glove, the more famous the fighter. The
lighter the glove, the more of the knuckles you're gonna hit. The more of a bare flesh you're gonna hit.
We got that controversy with the Wilder and Fury fight. Remember towards the end of the trilogy when they questioned that, and it basically was the same thing, wasn't it? With the padding and everything.
No, that's a separate issue.
Oh, that was something else. Okay.
No. The issue with that wasn't the ounces of gloves. The issue was they were saying that Tyson Fury was literally taking out the padding of the gloves. Out. Okay. Yeah. So that's a whole different issue. But yeah. I hope we cleared that up for you, Robert. Mm-hmm. Milky Way, what's good? Chevy says every boxing glove should be 10 ounces because 8 ounces is too dangerous. I'll tell you this, man. Like, look, sometimes I spar. I remember I sparred a guy last year when I was in Texas. I sparred a guy last year weighing 8 ounces, and you feel everything in them 8s, everything. I mean, that's why a lot of these fighters get hand injuries.
But is there really a regulation within the section of bodies or what the norm for each fighter coming to the fight to take? But then again, remember the time we had the issue with Mayweather when he fought the guy from Washington D.C. and the same thing he took.
Corley?
Yeah, Corley.
Different issue. He made Corley wore a specific pair of gloves called Winning Boxing Gloves. Winning Boxing Gloves are a company in Japan, and they're sparring gloves. Okay. These are the most popular. If you go to any boxing gym, when we go to the gym, pay attention next time. Okay. You'll see the equipment is Winning because Winning Boxing Gloves have the best padding for fighters, and he made Corley wear the padding for the gloves because Maybe they didn't want to hit with the puncher's blood.
But I'm saying all across the board. So what? All across the board, all the sanctioned bodies are giving to one set of weight boxing gloves for each fighter, or
on fight night and almost every weight class apart from heavyweight, and maybe cruiserweight. It's all 8 ounces on fight night. Eight.
We got
eight.
It ain't no 10.
It's
okay.
you know.
Okay, that's good to know. So okay.
Now my man one SSS says, I think it's Keith Thurman. Keith is known for his hand injuries and he can't take body shots. And I wanna.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
I was gonna bring that up too because I know Keith's had those problems in the past, and it's not. Listen, Keith Thurman, I gotta give it to him, man. He has the $1 million mouthpiece. This guy is one of the most articulate men, not just in boxing, but I know that just in general.
Right.
The guy knows how to talk and express his ideas and his thoughts in a very, very intelligent manner. So he can make anything sound believable.
Yeah.
I guess we'll come out. We'll see come fight night.
Didn't he just have like operation or something on his pen? One of the interviews we were watching one time, he said he had a pen or something inserted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So maybe in his mind, he still doesn't feel confident enough because he has not tried that hand in the ring with a real opponent. You know what I mean, so to speak. So maybe if he wanted to change, it's for him to feel more comfortable mentally, not physically.
Yeah, we'll see. Dundada, shout out to my guy Dundada, long time viewer out there in DC. Shout out to him. Really do appreciate him coming to the live. He says, I don't think the size of the gloves will be a factor for this fight. What are your thoughts? What are my thoughts? My thoughts are that my simple thoughts are like whoever's gonna win is gonna win quicker. Oh no. Whoever's gonna win this fight is destined to win this fight. I listen, personally for me, I don't really make a whole lot of gloves. I feel like if you're a great fighter, you're going to find a way to win no matter what the situation is. But what I will say is this. There ain't really shit going on in boxing right now. A whole lot going on in boxing. So we got to talk about something.
I think at the same time, I think it's a little premature for Thurman to already be overlooking Barrios and talking about who he wants to fight next if he wins whatever fight he got. I think for me personally, Thurman is a very talented fighter, but I think the ring rust will show at some point during the fight.
You think so? So I was talking to someone today because I was talking to I was at a Caicedo Sports Training Center. You know, really good
King
gym.
King
Kong Ortiz's gym. I was there today with my boy Eric Lantis Jr., who's an upcoming prospect, and we had some good fighters in the gym today. We had Michelle Rivera in the gym.
We had
Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert was in the gym today. Listen, man, I'll say this. I was talking to Michelle Rivera, who was doing camp with Mario, sparring on him, and he was telling me, like, look, if you think, he told me today, in the best way he could in English, he told me, look, if you think this is going to be an 85 for Thurman, I'm telling you, Barrios is a lot bigger than I thought he was. He was strong, and I think he's going to give him some problems. So he gave me a good little, I'm not going to get into everything he said, but he gave me a good little breakdown of the fight, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of made me a little bit more excited for the fight. Yeah. So hopefully it turned out to be a good one. Milky Way says Pacquiao versus Thurman could have gone either way. It could have, but I think the knockdown, along with Pacquiao hurting Thurman in the latter part of the fight, that really helped him a lot. But if Thurman would have got the decision, I wouldn't have been upset. I think Thurman did do enough to win, but boxing had other plans. Beast Mode Warrior, what's good, champ? Shout out to you. He says, Andrade versus Benavidez does 1 million pay-per-view buys. Well, you know what? I don't think that's gonna happen. But you know what? We're gonna be positive. Demetrius Andrade, the face of boxing. I don't want to hear it. 1 million. Dr. Evil. $1 million. There you go, champ. I hope so. Boxing could use a $1 million pay-per-view fight, or 1 million pay-per-view buy fight. Back in the day, they were fighting in 6-ounce gloves until Jose Sulaiman switched to 8. That is true. They used to have them really small horsehair gloves back in the day. So yeah, he says Thurman can sell water to a whale. To a well. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the best people don't know it, but the best fighter promoter combo that we need in boxing is Keith Thurman and Don King. Could you imagine those two together? Oh, could you imagine Don King and Keith Thurman together? Yeah, because they both from America. Yeah. One SSS says those many Pacquiao gloves are the smallest gloves I've ever seen. Which ones? I mean, I'll tell you this. I remember Golovkin's gloves, Triple G's gloves back in the day used to look real small. I'm not gonna accuse Triple G of anything, but they used to look real small back in the day when he fought like Dominic Wade and these guys.
Right.
His gloves used to look real small. But that's neither here nor there. Al the pal, what's up, bro? Shit, I just seen Charlo in his Escalade pull out a little store. Which one, Jamal or Jamel? If it's Jamal, tell him that True School Sports tell him to get his ball out of Al Heyman's purse and to fight Demetrius Johnson. Tell him I said that. If it's Jamel, tell him I said best wishes and I'm rooting for him to become the undisputed champion because he's a true fighter. You know. Hey Susem, what's good, champ? Saludos. Yes sir. Yes sir. Can you break down how a Crawford-Spence fight would go? Now, listen, man, I got to be honest with you, Corey. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you being here.
No, shit.
But if there's one fight that I am sick to death of talking about, hearing about, breaking down, because look, we're in 2022.
Yeah.
It's the year of no excuses and no dishonor.
He wants to hear it, though.
He's going to hear it. I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we've talked about this fight from every angle. We've broken it down. But you know what? We'll do it one more time. Just for you, Corey. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, super chat, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So look, it's a good fight. You got, two fighters that have really good jabs. Earl Spence Jr. has a what I would call volume jab. He likes to throw that jab a lot. He keeps that jab in your face. He has one of the most active jabs in the entire welterweight division. Mm-hmm. Crawford's jab. Crawford can throw different types of jabs. Crawford is a bit of a slow starter. So, in that fight like that, Spence is going to have a chance in the first 2 rounds to really just get into a good rhythm because Crawford likes to take his time and, as they would say, download the information. Mm-hmm. And, I think the key for Crawford in that fight would be how do you take away the volume jab of Earl Spence? How do you limit the jab? How do you smother the jab? And then it also comes down to can you limit the Earl Spence body attack on the inside? Earl Spence is an amazing body puncher. Earl Spence loves to break that body down, and I think Terence Crawford's one of the only welterweights in the division that would actually know how to will be able to deal with Earl Spence physically on the inside. I think Terence Crawford's physical strength is very underrated. But it'd be a good match. It'd be a good chess match early on, and then somewhere in the middle of that fight, a fight would break out. Earl Spence Jr. will let his nuts hang. Terence Crawford will let his nuts hang, and we would see whose dog is bigger. I see that fight being a fight where you see Earl Spence being the boxer early on, and then he tries to be the counter puncher towards the middle of the fight. I think Crawford will download the information, so to speak. And he'll get Earl Spence's range, and once he gets his range, you're going to see Terence Crawford kind of picking him apart or sharp shooting him from the outside, and it'll be a good fight. I don't think anybody will get knocked out in that fight, although I would like to see a knockout.
Right.
But I think the way that fight ends, just a small breakdown. Yeah. I think Terence Crawford's versatility, his understanding of range, his ability to switch. And along with his physical strength, all right, I think that his physical strength is one thing people don't talk about because he comes from a wrestling background. Right. He muscles around people all the time. So it's not crazy to think he could do that to Spence, but it's also not crazy to think that Spence could really break down Crawford in a methodical way because we've seen Crawford get hurt against Cavaliers because we've seen Crawford in different fights have problems with certain fighters. So, and some people are of the mindset that Crawford is slowing down. I'm not of that mindset. I think Crawford is still at the top of his game. It's a good fight, but if they fought like tomorrow or they fought within the next 2 months, my prediction would be a Terence Crawford 116, 112 UD in a brilliant chess match, an aggressive chess match. What do you think?
What I think you should go on the new boxing whenever it comes out,
ESPC,
and fight both of them, find out for yourself. That's what I think. But I think I like Spence. I think his inside game is great. The way he comes his jab, the way he breaks down everything. But in my heart, I always say, even though I bet against him one time, went against him and put my foot in my mouth, you can't take the dog out of Crawford.
No. So you want Crawford?
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it. So I hope that was good enough. If they actually listen, Corey, the movie junkie. If they actually ever sign the damn fight, you'll get a 30-minute breakdown. But I'm sick of talking about that fight. So
we did it for you. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you guys have anything, and let's go keep talking.
Dundada says, it's obvious PBC don't want to risk the cash cow. Earl Spence losing all his titles against Crawford, who was on top rank. Yeah, they don't want that to happen. We hear what Tim Smith said. He says, we don't want to disrespect a proud champion like that, Clown. One SSS says, tell Rigondeaux to spit some bars. Oh, he wants Rigondeaux to spit some bars. So listen. So listen. Rigondeaux, listen. Rigondeaux, I'm gonna tell you, Rigondeaux. Guillermo, Rigo, spit them bars, champ. Spit them bars.
Cuando me vea por la calle de Texas disimula. Voy a ir a Plaza para el Chacal que de Cuba. Sí, a que me tiro, que me bajo, a que me tiro, que me bajo. Soy el loco en la tarima. Sí, mira. Compro Michael.
There you have it, champ. Rigondeaux spent all those bars. But yeah, man. Let me see. Hyro, what's good, Hyro? He says, anybody and everybody, that's the dream. And he has to work to fulfill that dream. Only in America. And that's what Don King said after Cherry Bryan won his fight. So, yeah, man. Hey, only in America. Don King is back. Yeah. What the fuck is up with Valdez, Ryan, Canelo? Who the fuck are they gonna fight? Whoever is I'm not speaking for Valdez because I think Valdez will fight Shakur. But to answer the question for those other two, the answer is whoever's the easiest opponent available. You know what I'm saying? Can you break down Keith versus Marine? Who's Marine? Or Mario? You talking about Mario? Okay. Well, listen. We're gonna what me and Pops decided to do today is we're gonna go through all the cards this weekend. Yeah. We're gonna go through all the undercards. We're gonna give you guys our thoughts. If you got any questions, continue to ask us. We'll get to your questions. Support the channel, super chat, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Thank you.
But listen, man, let's get to it. All right, let's get to it, champ. So we got this. This is the card right here. This is the card on paper right here. Keith Thurman, Mario Barrios. You can get this fight for the very low price of $74.95 on PBC pay-per-view. Okay.
What is it?
Bubble gum isn't. Listen, bubble gum isn't 25 cents anymore.
That was a salesman.
All right. Yeah. Bubble gum isn't 25 cents anymore. Yeah. So you mean to tell me for $74.95 you can get all these fights on pay-per-view? Al Heyman bringing the fights that the people want to see. The people. But listen, all jokes aside, let's get into it. So, yeah, man, the fight that really there's 3 fights on this undercard that really stick to me. Okay, all right, there are 3 fights on this undercard that really stick out to me. So I'm gonna highlight this one right here. I like this fight a lot right here, and I don't think it's being talked up enough. Right, so here you got Jesus Ramos, coming off that win against Brian Mendoza, which was a really good win for him at the time.
Right,
He's someone that the PBC is looking at putting on the fast track at the 154-pound division. They're looking at him doing some big things at 154, potentially 147 if he can make the weight. And, he's not fighting somebody that's easy to beat or that's an easy opponent.
Right.
He's fighting Vladimir Hernandez. Now, Pops, you probably don't remember Vladimir Hernandez, but he was the guy, if you remember Julian Williams fought on the Fury Wilder 3 undercard. And he lost to a pressure fight. I don't know if you remember that fight.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is who beat him. This is who beat him. So it's gonna be a good fight because Ramos comes to fight, Vladimir comes to fight, and I think it's a slight step up in competition from the Mendoza fight. It's debatable whether you want to classify it as a step up or not. But when you consider that he just beat Julian Williams, I consider it a step up fight. So looking forward to seeing Jesus Ramos and what he can do in action. And then another fight that I'm looking forward to on this undercard. And this might actually be the one that I'm looking forward to the most just because this guy is a personal favorite of mine. And that's the Cowboy.
Oh, I seen him.
Ryan Carl.
I was seeing him looking at the interviews earlier.
Ryan Carl is back.
I think Brett is a big fan, but I'm not sure.
Ryan Carl is back.
He's been out for a minute, though, hasn't he?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember who last time.
I forgot which one we seen it for. But you like it.
I love Ryan Carl. Now look, listen. I like fighters at all levels of boxing, and there's some fighters that these guys are TV fighters. But man, I've been a Ryan Carl fan since like what 2017 at least. This fight right here with Jose Quesada. Hey, Jose Quesada was at that time. Jose Quesada was a good little prospect. I saw him fight here in Miami. He was from Chicago. People at that time, some people at that time had some hope for Jose Felix Quesada, and Ryan Carl popped that balloon real quick, folded him up in 4 rounds. Then he had a good fight with Eddie Ramirez. He had a good little run. All right, he had a good little run. Ryan Carl around that time, and then he had to fight with Kevin Watts. Then he avenged the loss to Kevin Watts. Then he had to fight with Barrios, which I was at. So Ryan Carl is always in these entertaining fights, and he's not going to have this fight with
skinny cowboy.
Hell yeah, the cowboy. The cowboy's coming.
It's coming to my mind now. The skinny guy.
Now, Omar Cuadras, all right. So Omar Cuadras, I've seen Omar Cuadras fight on a couple of occasions.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it's not the
biggest fight. Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of Cuadras, but he's a good fighter, and these guys have a lot to prove.
So what's their point?
And they want to better their position in the 140-pound division. So listen, Ryan Carl is one of those fighters. I don't care if he wins. I don't care if he loses. I don't care if he has a draw. I just want to see him fight because I know I'm gonna get a guy that's gonna.
What is it coming out song? Cowboy. You remember that offhand right now, right? You gotta find a video and put him out there. Yeah.
Oh, no, I just seen this now. I didn't even realize this, but Keith Hunter's fighting now. Pops, let me ask you a question. What do you know about Keith Hunter?
I don't know nothing. Right? I don't know nothing.
This is Michael Hunter's brother that knocked out the gang member. Have you seen that video?
You told me about that.
Have you seen that video?
No.
He's fighting on the card, 13-1. Keith Hunter, got him. You got and then
that's a big card.
And you got Luis Netty taking on Carlos Castro, the undefeated Carlos Castro.
I like Castro.
Netty's a guy that just took his first loss last year to Brandon Figueroa, and you got Carlos Castro, who's fresh off his win, not too far removed from his win against what's the guy's name? Who was the guy that Angelo fought? Cesar Rocky Juarez. So
I like Carlos Castro, but as far as Luis Netty, the problem that I have with him, he's not disciplined. He's never disciplined with his weight or how he comes into the fight. So I'm taking Carlos Castro in that fight. You
also got Leo Santa Cruz coming back, and for the first time since Gervonta Davis knocked him into the 8th dimension.
Who are you fighting?
He's fighting Arizona's very own Keenan Carbajal. Now,
is he a Disney fighter?
I don't know a ton about Keenan Carbajal, but I'm gonna look at his box record right now and just see what we can see. See if there's anybody we know about. Who did he lose to? He fought fighters I'm not really too familiar with. So he's had losses in the Phoenix area, just in his hometown, and he's built his way up. So look, this is a chance for Keenan Carbajal to make a massive name for himself. What was that saying? There was a saying Stacey McKinley had. He said, in boxing, today's nobodies are tomorrow's somebodies. So he has a chance to change his life and push himself forward and make a name for himself in the featherweight division. And what better way to do that than to get the scalp of Leo Santa Cruz? Yeah. So listen, all things considered, now that I've actually taken time to look at the card for myself without my emotions, it's not the worst card in the world. I just don't think right now, if PBC would have made this their first pay-per-view without Ortiz versus Martin, then I probably would have less of a problem with it. Because Ortiz Martin just happened. And we're in the middle of a so-called pandemic, okay? I do have a problem with it. I have my own thoughts on that. So not the worst card in the world. And we're gonna see what happens. But let's get to a couple comments and then we'll go to the next card. Shout out to my guy Troy Graham. He says,
"Shout out Troy, I'm cooking, man.
I will watch this fight, but I will not pay for it."
Hell no, we're gonna pay for that.
Yeah. He said, "Bless up yourself, father and son." Thank you. God bless you too. God bless you too. Dundada says, "I know everyone is rooting for Serrano as I am, but I think Katie Taylor is the betting odds favorite." Well, yes.
Serious?
Yeah.
I'm taking Serrano. I mean, I like Katie too. Best for both of them, but I'm going for Serrano.
My kinfolk can whoop Ryan. Ryan's just famous because of clout. He didn't make a name for himself, man. I know a few people that can whoop him. I would like to see Ryan fight Robert Easter Jr. or Our Bell. They're all the same height. Well, Our Bell is a solid fighter. I wouldn't mind that fight. But man, one fighter that I've never rated him highly. I will never rate him highly because he really like I'm gonna sound like you. He really ain't shown me nothing. All right, is Robert Easter Jr. You know, so I'm good. If Ryan Robert Easter fight, I'm okay with that because if someone gets knocked out, I'll be happy either way.
You talking about like Granados fight?
The Granados fight, Dennis Shafikov, Granados, Shafikov, Richard Comey,
and a
lot of these fights.
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
Hyro says BT Mario Barrios is a pay-per-view star. His last 4 fights were on pay-per-view.
That don't mean he's a star.
Is it his last 4? Let me see. He fought.
That's it.
Is this fight? He headlined Tank's and Tank. Him and Tank headlined the last one.
Yeah.
I think he might have fought. You might. I think Spence Porter. He was on the undercard when he fought the guy with 7 fights. So. What's the other one? What's the other one that he was on? Milky Way wants to know, when you watch boxing, how do you know if the punch landed? I find it difficult to score fights. So there's a couple ways you can figure out how the punch landed. So first of all, what I look for when I look for a punch landed is first and foremost, if a punch is thrown to the body, do you see the stomach of the fighter move or make any sort of like sudden movements? You know, that's a dead giveaway that a punch could land. You kind of look for the fighters to see if the fighter's head snap back. But then you got to also be cognizant that some fighters have a style, like the real slick fighters have a style to where they roll punches. So sometimes if a punch comes close to landing, you know, it might look like it landed, but it didn't. So you got to really watch boxing. You got to really train your eyes to know what you're seeing.
One thing you always say when we watch fights is that when the opponent gets a good shot on the other fighter, he always smiles.
Oh yeah, so if a guy throws a punch and it looks like it landed, and then a fighter looks and says, "Nope, that didn't land," like 7 times out of 10, it means yes. If they say no, it really means yes. You know what I'm saying? So it's what it is. Boxing Hog 28 says, "True School, stop being nice. This card is fucking trash. Both co-main and main event fighters are all coming off losses. There are 5 fighters coming off losses, bro. This is horrible matchmaking." Well, I'm just telling you, the fights on this card that nobody are talking about are actually the best fights on this card. Like Ryan Carl versus Omar Cuadras is a solid fight, and Jesus Ramos versus Vladimir Hernandez is a very good fight. But other than that, you know,
for the money, yeah, it's lousy. I mean, you're right. You want better fighters, but hey, you're not gonna get a 50-50. You know what I mean? A card like this than you get for anybody else. Andrew
Strap's going with the bold prediction. He's saying that Keith Thurman is gonna get folded up like a blue steel chair. He don't believe in Keith. He's going with El Azteca, Mario Barrios.
Wow, that's bold statement, right? Yeah.
And that would be. I'll tell you this. Oh my God.
Wow.
I cannot believe I just thought about this.
What's that?
Whoa. So do you guys remember when Leonard Ellaby was talking all that shit about Gervonta Davis moving up to fight Keith Thurman?
Okay, what do you say? Yeah.
If Mario Barrios beats Keith Thurman, who's to say that Gervonta Davis doesn't move back up in weight at welterweight to fight Mario Barrios at welterweight? Because then, if he beats Barrios, they could say, well, we beat Barrios at 35 or at 135 or 140, but now we're beating him at 147 after he just beat Keith Thurman.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I'm just saying,
yeah.
What do you think? Because you know that was thrown out there by Leonard Ellaby, like the Keith Thurman and Gervonta Davis fight. Do you think Keith Thurman versus Gervonta Davis is something that could ever happen?
Honestly, I want Gervonta Davis to, no disrespect to Barrios, he needs to step out of the fucking competition and fight the motherfuckers he needs to be fighting.
Who?
I want him to fight
Gervonta Davis.
Huh?
Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, man.
You want to see fight Devin Haney?
Anyways, fight Pacheco's, fight anybody, a top contender out there. I don't care about all this. If I jump in 147, I thought he beat this guy and that guy. You need to get damn Gervonta Davis out of witness protection plan. And if he doesn't, there's the younger bucks are coming up and they're gonna take over.
They want all the smoke. Okay. Al the Pal says, "What about the DAZN fight?" Well, you know what? You brought it up, so let's get to it, man. Because truthfully, I think this is the better card of the fights.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'll be honest. Undercard wise, I actually don't know. I think PBC might actually have a superior undercard to the DAZN card. But
main co-main.
We'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way up. Okay. Okay. So in this fight right here, you got Khalil Cole. Khalil Cole is a young prospect that Matchroom Boxing is hyped up on. Now I actually got the chance to interview Khalil Cole before he made his pro debut when he fought on the Devin Haney versus Linares undercard.
Oh, wow.
He was the you remember that interview, Pops? He was the black dude that said that he wanted to fight Bivol. That's his dream fight.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Shout out to him.
he won that fight, and then the next fight after that, he got a draw. So he's 1-on-1 taking on a guy named Dylan O'Sullivan. I don't know much about Dylan O'Sullivan. Let me see. Let's see if we can find anything on Mr. Dylan O'Sullivan. Let's see this guy, Dylan O'Sullivan. 1-0 from Johnson, Tennessee. He beat a guy that was 3-10, Jermaine Corley. I think I've seen Jermaine Corley. Who's this Jermaine Corley guy? I think I've heard of this guy. I've heard of this guy. Who did this guy fight? Kenneth Sims. Yeah. This guy fought Kenneth Sims, and this guy fought Roberto Duran Jr. So yeah, that's how I know him. That's how I know who he is.
His record?
If Khalil Cole can't beat this guy,
okay,
I have a lot to say about him.
So he got a respectable record.
Who? Dylan O'Sullivan or?
Just go ahead.
He fought Jermaine Corley.
Okay.
That was his one win.
Okay.
And Jermaine Corley fought Roberto Duran Jr.
Oh wow.
Who is a welterweight. This guy's a light heavyweight.
Oh wow.
Okay, so you know we
know
what it is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this fight right here, we got Adam Stewart versus a guy that me and you actually know. You actually commentated this guy's fight last year at Road Warrior Promotions. Now, Pops, do you remember Alvin Davey, the heavyweight?
I don't remember him. I have bad memory, you know that. So I can go ahead and comment on something and totally forget.
I'll refresh memory in a second, okay? But we got a super chat. Shout out to my main man, Andrew Schwab. He says, "You guys are the highlight of my day. Straight boxing talk, no nonsense, much love and respect." And listen, that's what it's about. It's about
do the best we can.
It's about the sport. It's about talking about it for what it is, because we have a lot of tabloid gossip channels, and sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time, I question just how much people are really boxing fans. So look, this is a channel for people who actually care about the sport of boxing, and it doesn't matter if how many views I have or don't have. None of that's really important to me. What's important to me is for the people that love boxing, for them to hear good boxing talk and to provide you guys great content. So we're going to keep going.
And whether that we'll agree with the opinion or not, you're going to get the true, honest, sincere opinion right here.
Absolutely. And look, it because I'm like a boxing nerd and I really love boxing. You're going to hear about fighters. Like, I'm going to know about fighters you guys may have never heard of, and I'll be able to put you on game and give you guys kind of like we're doing right now. So we appreciate you, Andrew. Believe it or not, like what you say, you're the highlight of our day.
Blessings.
Or that we're the highlight of your day. We a lot of times being here is the highlight of our day, because we go through a lot of things. We have our own issues in life, and for these 1 to 2 or how many hours we're on here, we
the best time of our time.
It really is the best time of our lives.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate everyone for the support
for the channel and just being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. But getting back to the card, and listen, if y'all want to follow Andrew's lead, hit me with the super chat and whatnot. But this guy Alvin Davey, Pops, he was the guy that main evented on the Glenn Johnson show we commentated last year.
I know we did, but
he was it's funny saying this. He was like I don't know how to describe him. He was a black heavyweight. I mean, he was the only other heavyweight that fought on that card aside from Akabajori.
Okay.
Here, I'll pull his box up. Maybe he's got a picture. He wasn't good. This guy, he had the fine Colombian girl as his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's about it though.
And it was a very uneventful fight.
Yeah, I really. You guys can understand. My memory's bad.
But anyway, he's been fighting, like he fought in Colombia. This is the fight we were at last year when me and Pops actually commentated this card.
He
fought Aaron John Valentine, tough, durable guy. Didn't really do much with him that night. Alvin Davies, one of these guys in Miami. I wish him the best. South Florida stand up. I'm always rooting for the South Florida guys, but he's one of these guys that just he needs a lot of work, and hopefully, I don't know who this guy is. Adam Stewart. Who's Adam Stewart? He's from Phoenix. He's from Phoenix, so he's probably the local guy. He lost to some guy I never heard of. Yeah. So this is a filler. This is a filler fight. In other words, this is a filler fight.
Just take up space time.
Hopefully, it's a good fight.
God bless both.
But speaking of South Florida, we got the Alien King, Aaron Aponte, on the card as well.
Oh, I like it.
In his 5th pro fight.
Yeah.
Good for him. Aaron Aponte is looking to make some noise in the sport.
Quietly doing his thing.
Yeah, I like Aaron Aponte. Yeah. Aaron Aponte, good young fighter. I think he still needs some work, but you know what? It's early in his career. I don't want to make any assessments of what I think he'll be or not be. He's got Peter Kahn behind him as his manager, so
wishing the best.
Peter Kahn's gonna take his time and build him up and
groom him up right.
We'll see what happens, but I'm rooting for the Alien King. So we got him. I don't really know who these guys are, but we'll see. The other fights that really stand out on this card to me are like you got Jamie Mitchell, who just beat who did Jamie Mitchell just beat in the UK? She beat what's the girl's name? Was it Shannon Courtney? It was Shannon Courtney.
Seriously?
Yeah. She beat Shannon Courtney. Yep. She outboxed Shannon Courtney. And Jamie Mitchell is a really good fighter. She's a newly crowned world champion.
Yeah, she's supposed to get back with her, is she, or something like that? Yeah.
Yes. And Jamie Mitchell will be looking to defend the title against Carly Skelly. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a whole lot about Carly Skelly. I'm not Ring IQ boxing talk. I don't know the most about women's boxing like that, but I know more than the average person. This girl just fought girls in the UK. So Jamie Mitchell, on paper, she should win. Yeah. But hold on, I'm gonna take a pause in the action because I see we got another super chat. Hold on. Shout out to my guy, Boxing Hog, with the $10 super chat. We appreciate you,
so much. God bless you.
Thank you for coming to all the lives, man. We do appreciate everyone's support. We're gonna continue to keep it going. By the way, I don't know if you guys. I'm gonna say it again for those that didn't hear me yesterday. Yesterday I booked my Airbnb for San Diego, and today I booked my flight for San Diego. I will be in San Diego for the Roman Cholatito Gonzalez versus Julio Cesar Martinez fight. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully somebody
brings more content.
Bring you guys more great content. I did apply for a press pass, so we'll see what Matchroom Boxing. We'll see if Matchroom Boxing is cool. Hopefully they approve your boy. Yeah. Because if anybody deserves to be there, I think I should be there because I've covered these guys a lot. Support the channel, super chat, just hit that like button. But I'll be there, so anybody in the California area, if you're going to be in San Diego for the fight, let me know, and I will be there. After that fight, I'll probably be in Vegas for like 2 weeks, and then after I go to Vegas, I'm going to go to either Charlo Castaño or I'll go to Virgil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson. So we got a busy March, a very, 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 very busy March planned here on the channel. And I hope you guys continue to stay tuned, and we're gonna keep giving you guys that great content from here in South Florida. So stay tuned. Thank you, Boxing Hog.
Bless me.
But getting back to the card, getting back to the DAZN card. Okay, so you got Raymond Ford. All right, now Raymond Ford was a fighter that he was part of that first crop of Eddie Hearn fighters.
Yeah, did you find him on Instagram or something?
Eddie Hearn found Raymond Ford on Instagram when he won the National Golden Gloves. Yeah, and he signed him. Raymond Ford, a good young southpaw, but he's got a lot of work to do. I was at this fight last year when he had his draw with Aaron Perez. Yeah, some people thought Aaron Perez beat him. Never got the rematch, but since then I give it to him. I got to give him his credit. He's bounced back in a great way, knocking out a couple of names that I'm familiar with.
Did he ranked at all?
No,
not yet. Okay.
He knocked out Reece Bellotti, who's a British gatekeeper, whatever. Beat up Reece Bellotti, beat up Felix Caraballo, the same Felix Caraballo that Shakur Stevenson stopped. Wow. So he's fighting undefeated Edward Vasquez now. I don't know who Edward Vasquez is. Who is this Edward Vasquez fellow? 11-0, Fort Worth, Texas. Let's see, this guy fight anybody I know? He beat Adon Ochoa. I know who Adon Ochoa is. So not a bad opponent. And look, for Raymond Ford at this point in his career, he's got to make a statement. He's got to make a statement and let people know that he's not this hype job. He's not this amateur. He's got to make his presence felt in the featherweight division because featherweight's going to be a division over the next couple of years that becomes more stacked, and he's got to lay his claim in the weight class. You know what I'm saying? And then we got we'll get to the main event because I know Pops and myself have quite a lot to say about the main event, but I want to acknowledge another super chat again. Once again, Boxing Hog, we appreciate you. God bless you, and thank you for supporting the channel. Because when you support the untouchable True School Sports Empire, you're supporting the real boxing talk. And I got a treat for you guys coming up this week. Tomorrow, the Sugar Hill Stewart interview is dropping. We got Chris Colbert interview coming out. We got stuff with Michelle Rivera at the gym today. That's the one I want to hear. And I'm gonna try to get somebody to do an interview on this channel tomorrow. Wow. I don't know who yet. Yeah. We'll make some phone calls, but because there's really nothing to talk about in boxing. And I want to get. I know who I want to get. I'm not gonna say it. But I'm gonna try to get somebody on the channel tomorrow. So
we go live.
Yeah, great. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
do that.
Shout out to you because there's nothing going on. Like boxing is there's cards and there's fights, but as far as news and things happening, there's not a ton happening in the sport right now. So yeah, but moving on to that main event, you got where is it? Carlos Cuadras, an absolute veteran of the sport, former WBC champion, been in there with the best, fought the best, always has tested himself against the best opponents out there. Carlos Cuadras has fought Chocolatito. He's fought Guy Estrada. He's
Right.
fought Big Williams Aurora. He's fought the who's who of the super flyweight division. Rungvisai. He was supposed to fight Rungvisai in this fight. Rungvisai got COVID.
Right.
And Jesse Bam Rodriguez is stepping up to fight him now. Pops, I already made my feelings on this fight known. I think Jesse Bam Rodriguez is gonna win this fight. What do you think? You had a chance to actually watch a little Bam Rodriguez today, and you know how Cuadras fights. How do you think their styles are meshing, and who are you favoring?
What I see from Bam, usually when I see a fighter, what I really like about this young buck, you know what I'm going. No, Bam Rodriguez. I'll be honest, he's an excellent finisher. He's one of these fighters that if he gets you in the corner, or he gets you in the ring, or gets you in the ropes, and he's got you hurt, he's going to finish you off. He's got a nice right jab. He's got the slip to the side, right or left. He reminds kind of a little bit Lomachenko the way he slips to the side and makes movements. And one thing I really noticed about this young buck right here is he's got the high guard. It's really hard to score points on him. He's very disciplined for a fight to keep his hands up or chest level and come out and do it. I like what he brings to the table. And let me tell you, man, he's a young buck, a hungry fighter that I really like. And what I see from him, so I can see today, tomorrow, when this fight happens, the turning of time with Cuadras. Now, on the other side, Cuadras is very experienced. He's one of the top, was once one of the top elites in the lightweight divisions. He's one of the most respected lightweights because of Estrada, Chocolatito, and him, and what he rebounded from his drinking and everything else. So I respect him also. But I'm going to have to go from what I've seen, not what you told me, what I've seen with my 4 eyes. I like his finish as a young prospect to see him come out here and do that and keep the high guard and keep it, be disciplined, not to get in there, goes to the body a lot, comes up, beautiful fighter. I see him turning the clock.
So you going with Bam Rodriguez?
I really, after what I've seen today and I've seen how he finishes, I've seen 3 guys he fought. And all 3 guys that I've seen him fight, he finishes them off quickly. He's not there to play.
Absolutely. So, hey, it's going to be a good fight now. I got Bam Rodriguez winning this fight, but I got to be honest. My heart is with Cuadras. I like Cuadras. Anybody Chocolatito fights that's been a good fight for him or that's delivered a good fight. These guys are always fighters I root for. And he's no different than anybody. And I've met Cuadras before. I met him at the WBC convention.
Very humble. I mean,
very nice guy. We just watched the interview today that he did with Lance Quiegmeyer on Fight Hype.
Oh, great.
And he actually opened up on a lot of things I didn't even know about him. He was talking about how when he got the Chocolatito fight and the Estrada fight, and he was champion, he had a lot of fame, and he didn't know how to deal with that fame and being a world champion boxer and whatnot. And that basically he fell into a life of drugs and alcohol and things like that. And now he's talking about how he's turned his life around and how things are kind of going well for him. And he really feels like this is his time. So listen, my mind is saying Bam, but my absolute heart is with Cuadras because when we talk about the true Mexican warriors of this sport, because I know right now it's very popular to bash Mexican fighters like that guy with the red hair who we won't say his name, but Diego, I see you, champ. The guy that says escribiendo la historia. That guy. It's easy to bash guys like him or Munguia. Or guys like that, but when we talk about the true Mexican warriors of the last decade, this is Carlos Cuadras. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does.
And I mean, like he said, he dealt with his life, the purpose we had to go through, and he humbled himself. He got back up from whatever fallbacks. Good luck to him too.
All right, Pops. Okay, so Jairo, I don't know what it is. Jairo doesn't like Bam Rodriguez because Ellie Sackback hypes the hell out of him on his channel.
Forget about Ellie Sackback.
He's going with Cuadras. He's going with Cuadras to beat. He said Cuadras needs to beat this mouth breather. BT, tell Pops I know how to beat the Franco.
Yeah, but Jairo, are you saying it because you hate?
No. Jairo's a big Joshua Franco fan. That's one of his favorite fighters, Joshua Franco.
And then he's gonna go with Bam then, right?
No. He likes Joshua Franco. He don't like Bam because he thinks Bam is overrated.
The family.
He thinks Bam is overrated. So he's actually pissed off at me because he said that in my video that I did about this fight. He said, oh, you didn't give Cuadras enough respect. And all I ever do is get Cuadras respect.
Yeah,
I'm one of the only channels that gives Cuadras respect.
His last comment he just made. He just said it.
No, they don't hear that.
That.
They don't hear the bad.
What about Mickey Bay and Blanca?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Robert Van der Grip says, "Love your channel and your boxing knowledge. Keep up the great work." Absolutely, Robert. Thank you for stopping by, and we hope you're doing well, man. God bless you. Dandara says, "If Jesse Bam can come in and settle down for this fight on the big stage, he could be a problem. But Cuadras has overall experience, general, and at the weight. That's what he's got going for him. And you know, look, Cuadras. I said this in my video about him and Rumgus, my original video. I said Cuadras is a great dance partner, and the 115-pound division over the last 5 or 6 years wouldn't be what it is without him. But if we're being honest, he struggled to win the big ones, and he's even lost some of the ones he was favored to win, like the one against Nick Williams Arroyo. So he needs to win.
And what I like about Bam, finishing Cuadras,
he needs to win this fight. And what better way to really jumpstart his career again than to knock off this very hyped up prospect in Bam Rodriguez.
And what I like about Bam is the guy, the way he speaks, Brendan. He really has plans about the 108 division.
Yeah, he was saying
115.
Bam was saying
like he knows what he wants to do.
You know what he wants to do. Bam Rodriguez was saying that if he wins this fight, he's going to vacate the belt and go back down to 108 because 115 isn't his original weight class, and he feels he still has unfinished business down to 108, and he wants to fight the champions like Jonathan Gonzalez, Kenshiro, Masamichi Ibuki, but he couldn't pass up on the next on this opportunity, so he didn't pass up on it. He's gonna fight Cuadras and try to become a champion, escribiendo la historia, like
move on to go back down and do what you got to do.
Yeah,
for this business. So I respect that he has his ducks in a row.
Absolutely, and we'll see what happens. But Jesus M says, "Will you be live for the Eubank card?" Yes, sir. I've said it many times, but I'll say it again for those that haven't heard. We're gonna be live all day on Saturday, all day. We're gonna be live in the afternoon for Eubank versus Liam Williams. We're going to be live at night for Barrios Thurman in conjunction and association with Bam Rodriguez versus Cuadras.
He wants Gigi or he wants Charlo.
Yeah. Now, this might be the comment of the live so far. Hyro says, "I hope Cuadras takes extra steroids and sends this guy to the moon."
Hyro. How can you go against your other fighter that's his family member that you like?
Because he ain't his brother. He ain't Joshua Ringo. He ain't El Professor.
Oh, Lord.
He says, Baki says, "No, Keith Thurman ain't in trouble. Mario Barrios is easy work for him. Listen, he's going to see. I'm going to call Mario Barrios when he fought Tank. He was like, he's going to see what it's like when he fights LS Tekka." Remember he said that?
Yeah. I want to say that about Barrios. You're right what you're saying.
I hope you're right.
But, I just want Thurman to come out here. I think he's going to have a little bit of ring rust. And he should be the favorite to win the fight. So, yeah, you could be right. You're probably 99.9 right what you're saying.
Yeah, I got to say, Pops, I'm very proud of us. We went almost 53 minutes straight on this live without mentioning Canelo Alverez. But you know what? Diego, of course, being the big Canelo fan he is.
Go ahead, Diego.
He had to break the drought.
But Canelo got a trophy.
And he wants to know my thoughts. So because I like Diego and I respect him so much, I'm going to give him my thoughts. He says, "Word on the street is that Canelo is actually fighting Charlo next. What are your thoughts?" Well, listen, I'm not going to get into what I know or what I think, but I have a good reason to believe that he's fighting Charlo next. And my thoughts on it, personally, I really don't know who I want to win that fight because I don't like Canelo, but I don't want, if he's going to lose, I don't want Charlo to be the guy that does it. So you know what? For that live, we're making history.
Hey,
we're making history.
Anytime anybody mentions Canelo, you gotta get a taping of Canelo saying it's giving. They would love it.
I'm gonna start doing that.
To get out on your comment, Jamal Charles been a big disappointment back in 2021, and he hasn't gonna show me shit. I don't think you should get a big fight like that. So I don't want Canelo, but guess what? I'm fucking going for Canelo this time. I want Canelo to show him real quick what the deal is. He humbled that motherfucker because he doesn't deserve the big fight. He does not deserve the big fight, the big money.
Personally, whoever deserves to win that fight, I hope
Canelo. I'm sorry, I never voted for Canelo so much, but this time
we might gotta make history.
The only time I'm going for Canelo.
I don't know.
I'm
undecided.
Jamal's been a big disappointment in 2021 for me. He's actually switched to how I like. I thought Jamal was going to be the pussy, and it ends up being that Jamal's the bigger pussy of the two. I respect more.
Wait,
Jamal.
You mean Jamal?
Yeah, Jamal. I respect more Jamal, more than Jamal. So screw him. He doesn't deserve the big fight. Fuck it. I'd rather have Benavidez get the fight or Gigi get the fight. I don't care who. I don't care who he gets fight, but I definitely want Jamal Charlo to get it. Screw him.
Oh, screw him. Okay. Hyro says, I like Bam at 108. I want him to beat the shit out of Hiroto Kayaguchi. Absolutely. We all want that, champ.
So, yeah.
This is great for Bam. A prospect versus elite veteran. Can you compare what a similar fight would be in another weight class? Another weight class. A really good prospect versus an elite veteran fighter. Maybe like fights that have already happened, or
in general, he's fighting
like a fight from the past.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think maybe like
good posture.
Josh Taylor versus Victor Postal, maybe something like that. I'm not saying Bam is as good as Josh Taylor, but you know when Taylor fought Postal, when Josh Taylor fought Postal, he was a prospect. Postal was a
Taylor was a prospect.
When Taylor fought Postal, he was a young. that was a step-up fight.
Wow.
And this is a step-up fight. So I would say something along those lines.
You said about Bob. We have to come back on that one.
Yeah. Okay. He says that was the perfect impression of El Azteca. Yeah. You know.
You should have heard the ones we were doing earlier before we came on live.
Oh yeah, don't worry. Those impressions are coming. Those impressions are coming when we get to what we got to get to.
Yeah.
Hyro says Eddie Hearn is pulling these random match replacements. What's next? Demetrius Andrade versus Diego Pacheco? No, because Diego Pacheco. Diego
fighting?
Yeah, he's fighting on the Cholatito card. Shout out to Diego. I got to hit him up and I got to see what he's doing.
Yeah. Follow the channel.
He's follows the channel.
Pacheco.
So you know. Dundada says, I'm with Pops. Charlo and his fans need to pay. They do for all this for ducking Demetrius Andrade. And you know what? Yeah, for that, you know what? If that fight happens, because look, personally, I'm not really the most excited for that matchup. But we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm buying the sombrero. You still have to wear a Canelo shirt for losing the Plant fight. So am I gonna be for that fight?
A Canelo shirt, anyways.
Maybe you can ask the
lady next door,
the black girl up the street.
Yeah.
Hey, there was this black girl.
We come from the gym.
We were coming from the gym the other day, and there's this older black lady on our street, and she got a Canelo Hennessy shirt on. And I said, well, we definitely know how she got it.
Yeah, and she was actually in Las Vegas at the Eddie Hearn, and when you were down there, she was there.
She was? You know what? Oh, you talked to her?
Yeah, you damn right asked her. I said, what? Because I was going to ask her, where did she get that shirt?
And she
said, I needed one.
She went to Vegas?
Yeah, she got a signed glove by Eddie Hearn, and she knows. Yeah,
right up the street?
Yeah.
Did you tell her to subscribe?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Good. But anyway, for that fight, I'm wearing sombreros. Shit, I might get a mariachi band.
I told my son he's got to get a clip of Canelo saying "escribieron like historia," and anytime we talk about Canelo, we gotta call him out of that. That's a good idea.
Jesus Sam says, "Do an impression on David Benavidez on thoughts on Canelo versus Charlo." Oh God. Hold on, let me not laugh because anytime I think about David Benavidez, it makes me laugh. Yeah. He's like, yeah, you know, guys, like, fucking, you know, I want to fight all these guys, man. You know, I'm down to fight anybody. You know, Charlo didn't want to fight me because he's a fucking pussy, and I'll put him in the hospital. I wanted to fight Charlo at 168 last year, and Charlo was like, get a vaccine. He's a pussy. And, you know, Canelo, he's a great fighter. You know, he's a great fighter, Canelo. He beat Caleb Plant, which he was supposed to do because Caleb Plant's a fucking bitch. You know, he was telling Canelo, you know, I respect your skills. You know, but me, Canelo, that'll be an exciting fight for the fans. A fight that the fans want to see.
There you go, yeah.
Oh man, I'm a little tired, so maybe it's not as sharp.
No, you sound like him, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Says stop at the impressions. Stop at the. Nah, man. We having fun. We having fun, champ. We having fun. And don't worry, we got one more for you later on.
Yeah.
Corey says, I will say this: Canelo starting to earn my respect a little. He fought 4 times in a year. It's impressive.
Yeah, you gotta give that one thing.
I mean, listen.
That's one thing when I take from Canelo. He's been one of the most active fighters in boxing. He goes from one fight to another fight. So you gotta put the flowers. You gotta give the lights to Canelo because he's been. I'll say in the next how many years? 5 years.
To be honest,
the most active fighter.
I'm gonna sound like
whether he's fought the shittiest fighter, the best fighter, the mediocre. He's been the most active fighter. So I put respect to that.
I'm gonna sound like a bit of a dickhead, so please excuse me if I sound like one. Now, look, he does get credit for that, but honestly, every fighter in boxing would fight 4 times if they could. Canelo's just blessed to be in that position where he's not tied to a network or a promoter, and he can call those shots. So I mean, yeah, he gets credit for it, but like,
no, that's a catch-22.
All these guys would fight 4 times.
No, some fights didn't fight. Gary Russell, how long take him to fight?
He would fight if he could fight 3 or 4 times a year. He would.
No.
Yes.
Some fighters.
We having a good live, and now you want to bring up Gary Russell.
No, I'm just saying in general. Some fighters do not like to fight full. They'll get their paycheck. They go on the salon life full of it, and they come back.
He didn't fight 4 times in a year.
Who?
He fought in 2021. He fought 3 times. Canelo fought 3 times.
No, I'm just saying in general. Not many boxers want to fight as much as you say they do. No, they don't.
Yes, most of them.
This generation today, no, they don't.
Yes, they do.
How many fight? Because you think so? You think so? Who you blame, the promoters?
Cholatito fight 4 times a year.
So I'm saying, who you blame, the promoters or the other managers? For stopping them from fighting more.
The business, just the whole boxing industry. Honestly, I know fighters right now. I know fighters I can hit up right now that I talk to all the time. They would love to fight 4 times a year, but the reality is most fighters just weren't blessed. And I'm not taking away from Canelo. All right. I'm giving him his due. He fought 4 times a year, and he was victorious in that span. But I'm just saying, like,
so you're saying
I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, nobody wouldn't want to fight 4 times in a year. There's hella fighters. You think if Philip Hergovich could fight 4 times in a year, do you think Philip Hergovich could fight 4 times in a year?
Damn right.
I think he would.
But that's because of the position he's in right now. He's angry right now. Yeah, of course he'll fight 4 times. I'm just saying, even with that, say the politics and everything, you still got to give Canelo his credit. Simple as that.
Okay, fair enough. Let me see. I missed some comments. Yeah. Shout out to everybody here. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Super chat if you want to support the channel. We here, man. We here, giving you guys that world-class boxing content. Russell Flores, shout out to him. He says the layoff might hurt, but Keith Thurman should win pretty easy if he does half of what he's capable of. Come on, Barrios got lit up against Gervonta Davis. He did.
That? But we're bringing out coming to this fight. He was weight trained against that fight. Coming here is going to be his natural 147, which I think is going to help a lot. You know.
Yeah, and plus
that's not saying that Thurman still won't win the fight. I'm just telling you.
I want to pivot back to that Canelo thing because something now, but I think fought like 5 times in a calendar year, 4 or 5 times in a calendar year.
Okay, but I guarantee you didn't do it like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Canelo didn't do it 3 or 4 years in a row.
Canelo fought more. I guarantee Canelo's fought more. If we compare the last 5 years, Canelo versus Navarrete, I like Navarrete, I'm a big fan of his. Dundada bringing up a good point. They're both Mexicans, so shout out to them.
Dundada says Xanax has fought 5 times this year. Top rank really knows how to match fighters up.
You're saying in 1 year's time. I'm talking about in the last 5 years, who's been the most active fighter fighting? Canelo.
In boxing?
No, in hockey.
Boxing. Over the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're
too far.
You're suffering what they call recency bias. He's fought consistently recently, but
no,
I mean,
not recently.
Yeah, recently he's fought consistently.
Okay,
recently.
You say recently.
So when he got because you said over the last 5 years.
I'm saying hypothetically.
When he got suspended because of steroids, he didn't fight for like 7-8 months.
What year was that?
That was 2017, 2018.
2022 now.
2019 he fought twice. He fought twice in 2019. He fought twice in 2018. He did over the last couple of years what most fighters do at that level for years. Okay. He had 1 abnormal year, which is because he's not with, and it goes back to my original point.
Yeah.
He had 1 abnormal year where he fought a bunch of times because of the fact that he doesn't have the red tape that most fighters have.
So you're basically saying I'm wrong then, basically.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't fully agree with you. Okay. Boxing Hawk says, "Nah, BT, your pops got you on this." Nah.
There you go. There,
pops.
We go back and forth.
Pops don't know the business of boxing like I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, I know a lot of world class fighters that would love to fight 4 times a year, 3-4 times a year.
Some pick up their paycheck and they go, and then they come back. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to discredit Canelo. I'm just saying like
I think he's the most active to me. Based on what I've seen for Canelo's coming from 1 fight and he's already fighting for another fight. You've seen that. You've seen him come 1 fight.
And I'm telling you why he's able to do that. Right, I'm telling you why he's able to do that.
He can call the shots.
He can call the shots.
Okay.
He can call the shots. Friggin' what's his name? Like I'm pretty sure like if Josh Taylor could fight 4 times a year, he would.
Okay.
You know, but then sometimes these fighters are so good, it's not easy to make these fights happen. Okay. Canelo can make any fight happen because guess what? The money's always gonna be right.
Yeah, and
the money's always gonna be.
Yeah,
so it's a combination of things. It's a combination of the money he generates,
but
the freedom he has.
You say that before Pacquiao retired, hypothetical speaking, because he's gone. Pacquiao was a big seller, big money man. Also, he sold out, so he could have fought a lot more. He didn't, but that was his option.
I mean, Manny Pacquiao had about a good 10 to 13 year stretch where every calendar year of his career for a whole 13 year stretch, he beat a guy in pound-poundless.
Okay, I respect that, but he didn't fight 5 times.
He didn't need to fight 5 times a year because the quality was better than the quantity.
Right, I'm not talking about the activity. I'm not talking about the quantity of boxing. I'm talking about the activity within the year's time in boxing. How many times 3 or more fights has done. I think for me, in the last couple of years, not 5, Canelo's been the big name.
I mean, was it any more crazier than what Emmanuel Navarrete did during the pandemic? He was the pandemic.
He did it one time.
Canelo did it one time.
No,
yes, he did. Yes, he did. No. Canelo had 1 year. He had 1 year.
I like both fighters, both Mexican fighters. Wait a minute. I don't like Canelo. I like Mondo. I'm a big friend of mine. But you can't tell you're basically telling me that what Navarrete did 5 times is
1, 2, 3, 4.
The last 4 years.
He did the same shit Canelo did 4 times a year.
No, Canelo's
in a calendar year. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In a calendar year. I'm talking the whole. No, Canelo's fought more fighters within a year than you can tell Navarrete. This time you tell me.
No, he hasn't. In a
total year span?
If you want to go from 2019 up, he definitely hasn't. Look, Navarrete fought. Hold on. We'll go to screen share because I don't want you guys to think I'm lying because people think.
All I'm saying is, what I've seen from Canelo, I've seen him jump from one fight to another fight and then to another fight. We've seen this happen from Canelo.
You're starting to sound like these idiots on you.
No, I'm not.
You're starting to sound like I'm not giving. I'm not taking his credit away. I'm telling you why he's able. I'm not hating on him. He did it.
No,
congratulations.
Right.
I'm telling you why he's able to do it.
Right.
All right. And then I'm bringing you examples of guys who did the same shit he did, but don't get the credit for it because why?
No, he did it one time.
Canelo only did it one time.
He only fought 5 times, one time. You don't see Navarrete fight one time with another fight. Look. You can't tell me that. No, he doesn't.
Let's just look. Okay. Let's look at what actually happened. Okay. He fought Canelo Smith in December of 2020. All right. Okay. So do you want to count December? Do you want to go from December 2020 to December 2021?
How do you want to do it?
Okay, we'll go from.
I'm just trying to tell you. Okay, let's go in the last 3 years.
This is great.
How many total fights has Canelo fought compared to?
Okay, in 2019 he fought twice, which is what most fighters do at his level.
Okay.
In 2020 he fought once. Shit. Okay, and last year he fought 3 times. So that's nothing crazy. Now
6 times.
6 times.
2 fights a year.
Now how cute? How cute of him? Shit. How cute of him?
Now how you?
Now I want to say this. I want to say this. Like, look, I'm not comparing. We're not comparing who fought the better fighters because I'm not an idiot. I know Canelo fought better fighters than Navarrete. We're arguing about activity. Okay.
I think the most active fighter in boxing.
And I'm telling you, that's a false bullshit narrative you put out there to try to hype him up. Now, Navarrete in 2019 alone, just in 2019, he fought 4 times in 2019. Okay, in 2020 he fought 3 times.
Oh my God!
And last year he had a bit of a down year. He fought twice.
He blew him out.
How many fights is that?
Blew him out 3, 4 more.
That's what I'm saying. And then if you want to go to 2018, oh my God.
Okay.
He fought. Look at this. He fought. Hold on. Look at this. He fought 2018. 1, 2. He fought 4 times in 2018.
Hey.
He fought. Okay, so here. Let's riddle me this one. How many fighters can? All right. How many fighters can you name in boxing who have fought 4 times back-to-back years? Because there's prospects that don't even fight 4 times back-to-back years. Riddle me that one.
Wow.
Riddle me that one. Yeah.
So right now the facts state that I was wrong about the most active.
But we're not arguing. I'm obviously
maybe the media makes it feel like that.
And listen, Alapal says quality over quantity. Hey, absolutely, I'm all about that too.
Yeah.
But the debate here wasn't about quality
activity within a year's time. And from what he just showed right now, Navarrete was more. He shot me up quick.
But now they saying Canelo is tired. He will only fight 2 times this year, and
yeah, you can say he's
starting to feel the consequences of those training camps. And yeah, and listen, fair enough. He did. He accomplished an incredible feat last year, becoming undisputed in the 168-pound division. Mm-hmm. And if he wants to fight, listen, if Canelo wants to fight once a year this year, and make it a big fight and fight the best person possible. Like if Canelo said right now, you know what, I had a long year last year, I'm just gonna fight Dimitri Bivol this year. I'll be okay with it.
To go along with that, Brennan, for him moving like from weight to weight, he'll move back down to weight. Doesn't that affect a fighter also? You understand what I'm saying? Like you say,
if you go up and down,
constantly changing weights to fight. Yeah. I mean, you're active in fighting, but you're
he didn't change weights last. He didn't change weights in his last 4 fights. His last
but also we got to throw in this Canelo is most of his fights always been at catch weight some, so it doesn't do no harm to him.
Well, no, that's not at 168. That's not really true.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when he jumps up to 168, 175 to let's say 160. I'm saying if he goes on in a year doing all that, eventually he's gonna.
Boxing Hog says your dad got you on this one, my guy. They're saying he's agreeing with you. Saying that even though we just went on screen share and we showed him. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Sometimes I bring up something for me to talk about.
But Rico says put Usyk in a mediocre weight class like 168, and he would win 4 fights in 1 year too. I give Canelo props for clearing out 168, but it was very predictable. Well, look, I'm sorry to sound like a dickhead here.
How about the value when he did it?
Hold on. Did he really clear out 168? Because no, it's a real question. It's a real question because a lot of people want to see him fight Benavidez. You know,
him out.
No. Look. To me, if he beats Benavidez, then I mean, there's obviously still fights I could bring up and say he could fight David Morrell, he could fight Andre, he could fight whoever. But if he beats Benavidez, then to me he will have effectively cleared out a weight class. Because to me, clearing out a weight class is what Usyk did when you.
Bellew did it too.
Not Bellew. Bellew didn't do that.
In the cruiserweight, didn't he? Yes, he did. Did he clear out?
He wasn't an undisputed champion.
Okay.
He lost to the undisputed champion. He lost to the undisputed champion. But yeah, no, it's very few fighters that clear out weight division. Like everybody says, Andre Ward cleared out 168. He didn't clear out 168 because he didn't fight Lucien Bute and he didn't fight Stieglitz. And there was he was IBF champion who made 8 defenses of his title. So look, it's not about if he would have beat them or not. If we're talking about the subject of did you actually clear out your weight class?
Yeah.
It's very few fighters in modern boxing you could say really cleared out the weight classes. Hyro says Canelo fought more than Crawford. This is true. This is true. But
on Crawford's side is a lot of fighters didn't want to fight Crawford.
And again, it goes back to what I said in my original point, which is
the average fighter.
Most fighters, not even just average fighters, even a lot of world champions, they don't have the luxury
or the
power to call their shots. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he won the fights. He went out there. He did what he had to do. He won his fights. Congratulations to him. Escribiendo la historia.
You're gonna have to get that. But on to the next one, Ben.
Yeah, BT Haney ain't gonna fight Kambosos, but he's gonna fight the other top lightweight. So if he does become undisputed, he didn't clean out the division.
Who's this?
Yeah, you know what? You're more than welcome to say that.
What did he say?
Kambosos. He's saying that if Kambosos or anybody doesn't fight Devin Haney, they didn't clear out the division, and it's fair enough. Now I know you don't like Devin Haney, but it's the truth.
Well,
look.
That was the same thing.
In my estimation, in my estimation, Teofimo was the undisputed champion, but he didn't clean out 135.
No, because he never fought.
He didn't fight Devin Haney.
Right.
You know.
So I have to agree with you on that point. As far as that, I still don't like fucking Haney. So. But he's got to fight him to have legitimate.
Josh Taylor.
Even Josh Taylor calls it. He said the same thing.
Josh Taylor, you can make the argument. Josh Taylor hasn't even cleaned out 140.
Why?
Because in my opinion, there's only one more 140 pounder you could beat.
Who?
Zepeda.
Oh, that's a great fight, man.
Zepeda, but you know what? That's a bit different though because he beat all the.
Yeah.
Oh man, here we go. Shout out to Hyla with the $4.99 super chat. He says Pops won this. He fought more than Crawford. Look at his fights. Did Crawford clear 140? Lipinets, Prograis, elbow. We got your ass. Martinez is gonna win.
Yeah.
Prograis, bro. You keep bringing it Hyla. This is how I know you just started watching boxing recently, bro. Prograis and Lipinets, bro. These guys.
Yeah. But he just hung out. It's all good, but don't think.
Oh my God. Because he always hates on Terrence Crawford. He always hates on.
That's his opinion.
He always hates on Terrence Crawford.
You have yours, and he has his. We just talk. We just have fun with it.
Hold on, since you want to bring up program.
Oh Lord,
man. We're not letting this shit slide, man. Since you want to bring up program, I'm sick of it, man. Because because me, him, and Shakur and Johnny were all in this group chat, and I'm getting sick of both of their shit talking bad about Terrence Crawford. It's like a thing to do. Talk bad about Terrence Crawford.
Okay,
no, we're not letting it go. We're not letting shit slide. You mean to tell me? So Terrence Crawford went undisputed in what 2018? What is it? 20? Was it like late 2017, 2018? Fucking this dude was fighting. Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done. He's fighting Joel Diaz Jr. and you're talking about he didn't clear out one. He didn't clear out freaking 40.
Move on from that.
He was a prospect.
Move on from that. Next, we love you, Harold. What else are we talking about besides Canelo? That was a good discussion point. Thank you for moving on, Brendan. I like that. Harold, we still love you. This channel.
Okay, and it seems like you hate Canelo.
You know,
I mean, I don't like the guy. I don't hate any. I can't say. Listen,
who's that?
F Rio says, and it seems like you hate on Canelo. I don't hate on no man. Listen. I just tell the truth. And
DBT wants to sign a contract.
Listen. My tone. I've always said it. I've said it in 2021. I've said it in the early parts of this year. I said it in 2020.
Yeah.
I will continue saying it. I was even saying it before that.
So he fights Andre?
If he fights Demetrius Andrade, he doesn't have to win. Do you hear this? What my damn milk at?
We go. Oh yeah.
Because people
all good, bro.
People.
We're just talking, bro.
And I'm just talking too. I'm a passionate individual. Now I understand that. Listen. Sometimes we get new viewers, and people have been brainwashed, and they think Canelo Alverez is the greatest Mexican fighter ever, and all this stuff.
Okay,
let's be real. Look. I got hold on. All I gotta say is this.
What do you always say?
He needs to find this. Now I don't know if you guys listen.
I love this.
I don't know if you guys know what this is, but in my neck of the woods, we call it a pen.
Una pluma, un bolígrafo.
Inside this pen is this thing called ink. It's called an ink. And when you take the pen and you press it hard against the paper, the ink comes out. And these are normally used to sign important documents such as fight contracts, okay? If Canelo finds one of these contraptions and signs a fight contract to fight Demetrius Andrade, oh my God, all the respect in the world. He doesn't have to win. To my respect. Tell him in Spanish. Tell him in Spanish, because they're not understanding it when they're not understanding when I say this shit in English.
Lo único que mi hijo quiere que Canelo firma el contrato y pelea contra Andrés, no importa si él gana o pierde. La cosa más importante es que él firme papeleo y lo haga, más nada, y lo calla él. Pero como no todavía sigue cogiendo, sigue oyendo la pelea, pues entonces mi hijo va a seguir con lo mismo.
There you have it. So since people don't seem to understand this shit when I say it in English, we have Pop say it in Spanish. And I'm gonna say it in French. Voulez-vous je ne sais pas tant. That ain't really French, but you get the point. That ain't
crazy, yeah.
But hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Hit that like button,
Jonathan Wildberg says they must be Bob's buddies boys. Who? Me? I don't know who you're talking about. I mean, please clarify who you're talking about. PBC is one of the Crawford's legacy from unifying against their champions, and hence the reason why he can't fight more times in a year.
Yeah.
Now Crawford is a Hall of Famer. There is now Crawford. Now that Crawford is a Hall of Famer, there is now Crawford slandered in this live, and that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. They want to always hate.
Can appreciate you, whatever.
Oh, they said the guys that were just talking bad about Bud. Yeah, people always have bad things to say about Bud, but listen, he's a great fighter, and no amount of slander, negativity.
You can't take away. He became undisputed, moved up to 147, and the way he had to do it. Nobody wants to fight him.
Well, listen, we're getting a bit off track.
Okay, let's go.
I want to get back to what I was talking about. So we were going to get to the next card.
Yeah, next card.
By the way, smash that like button. We here. It's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. Shout out to my main man again, Boxing Hog. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate all the love and support. And if y'all want to follow his lead and support the channel, these things do help. These things do help. Now, it appears that Andrew hasn't been here for quite some time, so he's asking a question that I've answered. When February?
Yeah.
So we got August, September, October, November, December.
But he's like
January. 7 months ago. All right. So I've answered this question many times, but I'll answer it again. I thought you were never gonna cover boxing again, and that was the original plan. I got to a point last year, which is probably the last time you saw me, where I got fucking sick of the sport. I hated boxing. That's why I got exposed to a lot of shit that goes on in the boxing business,
and
that would make anybody hate boxing. Honestly, honest to God, and I just didn't want to be around it anymore. To be honest, so that was the plan. Luckily, I have Pops here. Talked some sense into me, and I had a good people to talk some sense into me, and we stay here. Now he says, I never really watch you. I'm sorry. Well, then why are you making these? God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I never really watch. He says I never really watch you, but then he says, "Oh, I thought you never heard boxing."
Thank you for being here. God bless.
Bless him, Lord. Bless him. I don't got nothing bad to say about nobody. I'm not cursing nobody out.
Thank you for being here. Support the channel.
God bless. God bless you, Andrew. You're here's what it is. Anyway, Liam Williams. All right, let's get to the card with Liam Williams and Chris Eubank, because that was the next card we had to talk about. So it's there's interesting names in the card, but there's not really in my opinion, there's one kind of standout fight. Who?
The GOAT's fighting. You talking about?
Clutch of Shields.
Yeah.
The 2-time undisputed.
Yeah.
So on this card, look, I'll give you guys the things I know about on the card, and I won't try to act like I know everybody on the card. So you got Daniel Dubois' sister, Caroline Dubois. She's making her pro debut against this 2-14 girl who's lost her last 6 fights. We know what that is.
Yeah.
We know what that is.
Just getting the confidence builder.
Confidence builder fight, easy fight in the pros. She should win.
God bless her.
We got Otto Wallin, who was supposed to have already had his big fight with Dillian White.
Yeah.
And with Otto Wallin, he's got to win this fight to get those big fights. It's unfortunate that he didn't get the Dillian White fight, and now Dillian White is supposedly going to get the Tyson Fury fight. Yeah. Because I think the Dillian White fight would have been a great chance for Otto Wallin to really show what he's about and what he could do.
Didn't he fight also Jamar Miller one time? Jamar Miller?
He never fought Jamar Miller.
Oh, was it him? Okay, I got it for somebody else.
He never fought Jamar Miller, but he's fighting it's a 6-rounder. It's weird. It's not every day you see a world champion, a world class, top contender at heavyweight or any weight class fighting 6-rounders, 23 fights in their career.
Keeping them sharp and moving on.
So we're gonna see what he does this week.
I like him too. I'm a big fan of him. I hope he gets big fights though.
Okay, we got Chris Jenkins, a domestic level welterweight, high level British level welterweight, fighting Julius Ndongo. The return of Julius Ndongo.
Yeah.
Ndongo has been on a downward spout ever since Crawford beat him, because that's what Crawford does to these guys.
Put him out.
Crawford beats them and he ruins them for the rest of their career.
Yeah, after that fight,
he fought Prograis after Crawford. Prograis stopped him.
So
then he moved up to 47 to fight Daniel Lusanov. He beat him. Then he lost to some African dude. So now he's fighting this guy. We'll see what happens. We got that fight, which I'm not really I don't know too much about this fight, but I'll do my homework on it before the live. And then we got Clarissa Shields taking on Emma Kosin. And she's bringing, listen, Clarissa Shields said it best at the press conference today. Emma's bringing to the table something that she wants. And you know what that is?
What's
the
that?
WBF championship.
Another belt?
The world, because the IBF, the IBF, the WBA and WBC championships are on the line, but the WBF championships on the line.
Wait a minute, what is that? You on WBF?
Yeah. She was excited about it too. She said, I'm gonna become the WBF champion.
What is that? World Boxing?
The World Boxing Federation.
Man, that sounds like some wrestling shit.
But Emma's fought some names that were some respectable names. But Clarissa Shields should be beating this girl, and if Clarissa Shields wants those big fights against the likes of Savannah Marshall, which is really the fight. I know Hyro, talk to me now, Hyro. I know you're a big Savannah Marshall person.
Marshall.
That she needs to beat Emma if she wants to get that fight. And then we have the main event, Pops. We have the main event, which
I think that's gonna be the best.
We have talked about at length here on True School Sports, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah,
because it's worth talking about.
Yeah,
not because these guys are the two best fighters in the weight class or anything like that, but Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams genuinely don't like each other. They don't like each other. Liam Williams has already come out and said, "I'm going to be a dirty fighter. I'm throwing elbows. I'm throwing low blows. I'm doing whatever I got to do." And it's not all the time that you hear a fighter say that. So
I mean, he was cutting into him with fake beard, fake hair, overconfident. But he said, "I'm going to have my crowd behind me, and I'm going to go do the best I can do to try to take him out."
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but it's a good fight because Liam Williams did make a trainer switch before this fight, and he's going to go train with Adam. He's been training with Adam Booth for this fight. Mm-hmm. Booth has a reputation for producing fighters that are known to be technical fighters such as George Groves, fighters such as Katie Taylor.
Right.
These are all technically sound fighters, and he's trying to add that. He's trying to add the technical side of boxing to the physicality of what Liam Williams actually brings to the table. So hell of a
shout out to him.
Hell of a fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Liam Williams approaches the fight because we know what Eubank's favorite punch to land is the uppercut.
Oh my!
And
God.
the fight and the Demetrius Andrade fight, the punch that Liam Williams kept getting hit with over and over again was the uppercut.
Yeah.
So something's got to give. Either Liam Williams is gonna do his hometown crowd in Cardiff proud and beat the brakes off of Eubank and score the signature victory of his career, or Eubank's going to score the signature victory of his career. So I'm looking very, very forward to this fight, and we will be live for it. The undercard, I'm not going to lie, it might be a bit of a snooze fest, but,
sometimes you have that.
But you never know. But look, in other news, and shout out to everybody here. I'm going to get to your comments. I see your comments. I see you, Jonathan. I see you, Al. I see you, F. Rio. By the way, F. Rio, Earl Spence is in no way, shape, or form better than Terrence Crawford, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Keith Thurman, in light of his fight coming up this weekend with Mario Barrios, he did make an interesting comment, and I wanted to kind of see what Pops thinks, see what you guys think, and just kind of talk about it. So Keith Thurman has said and stated that he wants to fight the winner of Amir Khan or Kell Brook. Now, the only way he's saying that he'd fight these fighters who are fighting on February 19th, we will definitely be live for that here on True School Sports.
Of course. Great England. Great.
It's a fight we waited for a long time.
We waited for a long time. The UK, so we're here for support them and to support this fight.
Yeah, but he's looking at potentially fighting the winner of this fight. So hold on, let's get to the comments, and then I'll ask for your thoughts. So he said, I quote, "If they put on an exciting performance like they keep saying, boxing is a short-term memory. So if you can bring excitement in your last performance, then it will entice fighters like me to want to give you more recognition and possibly step in the ring with you. But right now, I've got my mindset on the biggest fights possible. So just with that terminology, it wouldn't mean either one of those gentlemen at this current time. But I love giving the fans what they want to see. And if those boys are truly adamant about fighting me next, then we can negotiate." Now, I've been on YouTube a long time covering boxing, and I follow boxing very closely, and God's blessed me with a long memory. So I actually remember when, Kell Brook was IBF champion and Thurman was champion. And I remember when there was talks and that he wanted to fight Kell Brook. Mm-hmm. And Khan's a big name as well. So I'll say this. If more so for Kell Brook, if Kell Brook actually comes out this fight and has a good performance, I really would see Keith Thurman making it a priority to fight Kell Brook. Because that was a fight I know that he really, really wanted at one point. And we'll see. What do you think, Pops, about the potential for a Keith Thurman, Khan, or Kell Brook fight?
We haven't gotten to the comments.
All right, we'll go back to the comments. We'll go back to the comments. So shout out to everyone here. Baki Hamlet says Earl Spence loses to Ugas. Mark my word, man. That would be awesome. That would be awesome because Ugas is a great fighter, an awesome fighter who deserves all the respect for the hard road he's taken in boxing. Yeah. And your Dennis Ugas, beating a guy like Earl Spence will really solidify him as one of the best welterweights in the world. Ron Scissor says Bud Crawford is the best in the world. Let's be honest, nobody beats Bud. Well, look, man, the only guy that I think could beat Bud or would have a chance of beating Bud at 147 is Jaron Ennis.
Hell no.
And maybe if he moved up, Josh Taylor. But even those guys aren't safe. That's really it. I got Bud Crawford as the number one welterweight.
He will not beat Ennis. I mean, Crawford will beat Ennis. What are you talking about?
Wait. Make yourself clear.
If Bud Crawford, Nebraska's son, fights Boots Ennis, he will put up to shame and show him what the old school fighter is and who the man is.
So you think Crawford is going to beat Ennis if they fight?
Yeah.
What you guys think? I think go.
And another thing, I'm a big fan of Virgil Ortiz. I want to see Virgil Ortiz against Ennis before we talk about Bud Crawford. They're supposed to fight each other and go from there.
Hyro says if Errol Spence loses to Crawford. If Errol Spence loses, Crawford is fucked either way because Ugas is a grown man and not going to get hurt by a jab like Kell Brook. I don't know, man. You talking about getting hurt by jabs and having having
a
a hard time with jabs. Man, I remember very clearly. Ugas fought a guy named Amir Youngmaster Imam. Amir Youngmaster Imam was a prospect, and he got pretty out. He got outboxed in that fight by Amir Imam. So listen, I like Ugas Jairo, but
just never know.
But you better stop because Ugas. Beto K says Crawford schools Ennis right now, but Ennis beats Crawford in like 2 years. I'm right there with you, champ.
Okay.
Boosie Ennis will beat the shit out of Bomac too. Boosie Ennis. Hey, to be fair, Boosie Ennis will probably beat half of the top 30 at welterweight right now. I'm taking Boosie Ennis I'm taking Boosie Ennis of against 15 of the 30 welterweights in the top 30.
You want to tell me? Okay, you think Boots Ennis gonna have a walk in the park with Virgil Ortiz? It ain't gonna be no walk in the park, Brandon.
I'm gonna tell you
no walk in the park.
What I tell Jairo.
Ortiz is not gonna. He's gonna walk all over Ortiz, Brandon.
I'm gonna tell you what I tell Jairo and Shakur in our group chat.
Back and forth on this.
There's no need to go back and forth because Virgil Ortiz has to get past Michael McKinson on March 19th, and that's no walk in the park. That's no walk in the park.
Okay, yeah.
So we can't even talk about Virgil Ortiz.
But my heart has always been with Ortiz, and it was still if them two young bucks fight. Whatever people their opinion, I respect it. I am going with Virgil Ortiz. I've been saying it all along, and I'm gonna stick with him.
You gotta take it one fight at a time.
Okay.
All right, one fight at a time. Okay. One fight at a time. He better try about Michael McKinson.
Okay.
Efriel says Spence fought more tougher competition and better competition than Crawford. It's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
It's up for interpretation.
For debate, yeah.
I mean, Mikey Garcia at 147, I wouldn't classify that as better competition, but that's just me. And they both fought Sean Porter, and we saw what Earl Spence did to Sean Porter, and we definitely saw what Crawford did to Sean Porter. So let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
I
know what I did.
Dandala says no walk in the park for Ennis. Ennis hasn't been battle tested, and his chin is questionable. I keep telling people I like Ennis, and I think Jerron Ennis. You can make the argument that he's the most skilled welterweight in the world. He's got every skill under the sun. I love Ennis. Yeah, I truthfully love Jerron Ennis. I want to watch all of his fights. I want to go to all of his fights in person.
But you always said that about that. You don't know about his chin yet. It's never been tested.
Huh?
But you've been saying about that though about him. You don't know chin never tested.
I gotta see him go 7 rounds first. Let me see him go 12 rounds. Let me see what he can do.
Later rounds.
In the later rounds before we fully crown him or anything like that. So that means he's better than Crawford. Listen, man, if you think Earl Spence is better than Crawford, you need to go watch golf. Straight up, bro.
That's his opinion.
That's his opinion, but he not beating Terrence Crawford.
Back to this third thing there.
Huh?
Okay, we can take one.
Anyway, I'm getting back on track. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get to this in a second, but I want to get your thoughts. Thurman fighting the winner of Kell Brook versus Khan.
Listen, both guys after that fight, they're gonna be getting monthly retirement checks. That's what they're going for.
Well, there's a rematch clause in that fight, so there could be a rematch if the fight is close enough.
Well, it's only going to be a rematch if it's back in the UK because at the end of the day, that's what Eddie Hearn's going to make his money on those two fighters. They fight again in the UK. So if there's a rematch, regardless who wins, they're both fights. How we want to look at it, it's a retirement checks for them to go to the limelight. Spence is saying he's willing to fight either or. I don't know if either one of them ever wanted to fight Thurman that bad. Did they?
What in their primes?
Yeah, but you think you still want? I think they just want to do unfinished business, broken con, and move on. Whether it's two fights,
that's where I'm at. I saw a thing today. I think it was on Fight Hype.
Yeah,
I think someone asked Kell Brook about fighting Floyd Mayweather right now.
I'm telling you, let's ready to get these two paychecks from how are they going to be and move on.
All right. Well, we're gonna stay on the same subject with the fighter, but we're gonna switch gears a little bit. So Kell Brook was speaking recently about Eddie Hearn, and he had some things to say about Eddie Hearn, and it's very very interesting because with Eddie Hearn, was Kell Brook was one of Eddie Hearn's first big fighters when Eddie Hearn really started.
When Matchbook started getting coming.
When Matchroom really started. When Eddie started taking over for his dad, Barry. And he was trying to really build up Matchroom Boxing into the premier company in the UK to overtake Queensberry Promotions. One of the first big fighters that left Frank Warren, who signed with Eddie Hearn, was Kell Brook. And, there's been some things over the years where Kell Brook has not had things done right by him with Eddie Hearn. And had some things to say about Eddie Hearn in a recent interview. I believe it was with IFL TV, if I'm not mistaken, or What was it? Talk Sport or IFL? IFL was IFL.
IFL TV. Yeah.
So here's what he said. Here's what he said. I quote: "This is a sport where I had both my eye sockets damaged. This is a sport where you can legally get killed in. It got to a stage where I was being put on the shelf. I'm self-managed. I went out there and I got the Crawford fight. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want to be out the sport with a bag full of money for my girls. I'm not gonna go worry about Eddie putting me on the shelf. He didn't mean to put anyone on the shelf. He just got too many fighters and that many dates to get these top 5 fighters out the ring in a certain amount of time. He can't make certain super fights for the fighters. The fighters aren't gonna get no money.
True.
He's got millions of fighters. He's getting millions off of everyone. He's always up, always delivering big fights, and obviously takes his percentage. He's always getting his biggest fights, but the fighters need to get their fights. So that's how it's played out, basically. So yeah, and then he went on to say that leading Eddie Hearn was nothing more than a business decision for himself, saying, I quote, "If it was the right move or if it was the wrong move, it could have been a better deal. It could have not been a better deal. At the time, it was what I needed to do. I needed to be active. I needed to get more money. I needed to be active and have a fight. On my side, I always have love in my heart for Eddie Hearn. You can ask him the same question. At the end of the day, it's business. Hearn got me into that position to become a world champion. He did everything for me, but he has all these fighters. It's hard to keep everyone happy, basically. There's no bad blood on my side. I don't know about him. I don't know what he thinks of me, but it's, for me, at the end of the day, it's business." So those are
I gotta respect Brooke on those comments he said, because there's no ill will towards Eddie Hearn. He's giving Eddie Hearn his props. He's only saying because he's got too much jelly beans in the jar, he can't keep everybody happy. So he can't put everybody active in the fighting game. And so he said, I have to talk for my interest. I have to make a move for me. If I sat on that shelf, who's to say I was going to make these fights for myself, or even the Crawford fight? But he has no ill manner or ill will for Eddie Hearn. He gives him respect.
Absolutely. So personally, though,
Go ahead.
I still think
say it.
I still think there is something there with him and Eddie Hearn. Maybe not from his side, but definitely from the Hearn side, because Eddie Hearn didn't want to. He didn't even get in the car fight to get on Sky Sports in the UK when they got the fight. He had to go. Brooke had to do everything to get that fight for himself, and that's why at that time, I don't ever root against Crawford, but I wanted him to win just for himself,
right?
So it's unfortunate how the fight played out. But F-Real said Eddie Hearn set Kell Brook up. He really did, and what messed him up was the GGG and Spence fight. Absolutely, I mean, one simple move with him, because like Jesse Vargas was WBO champion, and that was a fight that was being discussed at that time. And I think the pre-eye socket injured Brook, the prime Kell Brook, the 2016 pre, I think that guy would have beat Jesse Vargas, and been unified champion. And then how much different would the course of boxing history been?
Yep.
And that's why I go to show you,
just never know. Yeah.
Decisions, everything in life. Carl Hansen, what's good, champ? My brethren out there in Australia. Good afternoon, BT and Pops. How's my favorite YouTubers
doing? How you doing?
We're doing good, man. I'm doing good. I've had a interesting day. Went to a gym, did some interviews. Now I'm here with you guys, so can't complain. Good day. It's always a good day when you get to go to the boxing gym.
Have you here? The channel support is even better. Thank you so much.
Did you see that Tim Tszyu will fight Terrell Boucher on the undercard of Charles Castaño? Yes, I made a video about it this morning, but I haven't put it out yet. It'll be out within the coming days. Good fight for Tim Tszyu's first fight in America. I think it'll be a good test because of the fact that Boucher is I'm not sure if he's ranked still, but he's been ranked. He's been at a good level. He's fought Lubin and Lara and these guys. Boucher is someone that doesn't really punch the hardest, and when he puts combinations together, it's a rare test. So it's a rare feat where he throws combinations. But it's a good test for Tim Tszyu because I think in Tim Tszyu's last fight against Takashi Inoue, he did show some vulnerabilities. He was pushing his punches. He got tired in the back half of the fight. And I think Boucher will be someone that is a good introductory for the American public. And from the Boucher side of things, it's a chance for him to really put himself in a great position. So a good fight. There's no Boucher. The reason I like Terrell Boucher is because I watch him fight, and he doesn't really show enough urgency for me in these fights. When he fought Lubin, the one time he freaking threw more than 2 punches in a combination, he hurt Lubin.
Yeah,
in the 12th round.
But he continued.
In the 12th round. There was no time to continue because he pissed away the whole fight.
Yeah.
Posing and
That's what you're saying.
But good fighter, like as Carl mentioned, former U.S. Olympian.
Yeah.
Been in there with some good names. You could do a lot worse in the 154-pound division for your first fight in America than Terrell Goucher. So not a bad fight.
And for Tim Tszyu, I'm really happy for him. He's a big name. He's from Australia. Coming here, I think you were a big fan of him. He's a very excited fighter. So for coming here to the U.S. and getting his feet, so to speak, wet in American soil, it's only going to get bigger for him.
Yeah. Dandada says, why did Brook fight Triple G and not Errol Spence? Well, because at that particular time, the way the Triple G fight even became a possibility was because before they even got to the Triple G fight, the fight that Eddie Hearn was negotiating at that time was a unification fight with Jesse Vargas, because Jesse Vargas had a WBO strap. The fight didn't happen. When fights fall apart, you always get both sides. Fighter A will say Fighter B didn't want to fight, and Fighter B will say Fighter A didn't want to fight. Right. But nobody, most of the time, we really don't know. So when those negotiations fell apart, when those negotiations fell apart, at that time, Spence wasn't the mandatory. He didn't get mandated the mandatory until like after the Triple G fight.
After the fact.
After the Triple G fight. So the Triple G fight was a money grab. It was a fight where, like, if Kell Brook would have actually somehow did the impossible and won,
oh my God,
he would have been like the biggest star in boxing at that time, because Triple G was that damn big at the time. Mm-hmm. They overestimated Brook's abilities at 160, and they underestimated just how much that fight could set back the trajectory of his career. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. But once he lost to Triple G, what happened was the IBF mandated the fight, and Kell Brook had the decision of either A, going to 154 and vacating the IBF strap, or B, making that sharp weight cut and going down to 147 for Errol Spence. And Kell Brook, people can say what they want about him, but this is why I always respected him. He made a bad decision with Triple G, and maybe it would have been in his best interest to fight at 54 or vacate the belt. Right. But you know what he said? He valued that belt, and he valued the work that he put in for that belt. He said, you know what? I worked too damn hard for this belt to just give it up to Errol Spence. So he cut the weight, and he went ahead and he fought the fight. And he lost, and he broke out his other eye socket broken. But if he hadn't fought Errol Spence, people would have said he's ducking Errol Spence. Yeah. So
damn if you don't. So he did the right thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping Barrios wins, whoops Thurman, because I know PBC is going to try to make Spence and me too. That's where I'm at. And this is Gary Antoine Russell, future pound for pound. Salute my brothers. Happy Black History Month.
Amen.
Yeah, happy Black History Month, everyone out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing is happening. I think the same thing is happening to.
They're trying to watch. What we said about Spence, I didn't catch that.
Spence looks good. If Thurman looks good against Barrios, they're going to make Spence versus Thurman on pay-per-view next.
You said that before.
I've been saying that.
You've been saying that.
I was saying before this fight even got signed. I said PBC's going to conjure some shit up to keep the Terrence Crawford fight from happening. But now, see, look, with Terrence Crawford and the Bob Abraham lawsuit, now you know what they can say now?
Was it the lawsuit?
Oh, the lawsuit. First it was.
I want to go say this.
First it was the side of the street.
Hey, man.
Then it was the belt.
Listen.
It was all these things. Now it's the lawsuit.
When I seen Spence get up from the Crawford fight, he ran faster than Forrest Crump when they had that dog chasing him.
He ran.
He didn't even stop. He just kept on going. He ran the red lights and he just kept going. That just told me a lot about him.
He ran faster than Usain Bolt.
Because at the end of the day, even if he didn't like what Crawford did to the point that he supposed to tour up when he did better job, you should be man enough, grab your balls, and answer the media so the fans know about you. He didn't even want to do that.
Nope.
He had things to do.
Demetrius Andre versus Dia Benavidez at 160. What are your thoughts? We did a whole live on this yesterday.
Yeah,
so if you want extended thoughts on that, you can go watch that live or watch the video that I have coming out on that soon. But my short thoughts on that is I think it'd be great for the super middleweight division. I think it'd be great for the careers of both fighters, because I feel like both fighters are trying to get that Canelo fight. Canelo was giving excuses to not fight either one of them, So what better way for them to campaign for a big fight with Canelo than to fight each other? It would create a lot more demand and more pressure on Canelo to make the fight. And Canelo aside, just fuck that guy for a second. Mm-hmm. All right. look at just the style. It's a great style matchup. You have the adaptability and the awkward style of Demetrius Andrade going up against the heavy-handed, seeking destroy style of David Benavidez. It's a hell of a fight. It's one of the best matchups in boxing, in my opinion.
There's somebody else brought another fight that's very interesting between Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade. The styles of both of those fighters. I mean, after they mentioned that, what you said, asked about Benitez and Andre, they also talked about Andre versus Plant. That'd be a great fight, I think, too.
That fight's not happening.
I know it's not happening.
That fight's not going to happen.
Because of the best styles and everything, I think it'd be a good fight.
We'll see. We'll see. BT, you mentioned Terrence. Did you mention Terrence Crawford and Eddie Hearn? I did not. So I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. So at the recent Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor press conference, Eddie Hearn was asked about if he would sign Terrence Crawford. Now, Eddie Hearn said that he would love to sign Terrence Crawford, but he feels like the problem would be with Crawford, that they would have a hard time delivering him the big fights at 147, because who does Matchroom really have at 147 that they can match him with, right, to where it's like you want to see Crawford in a big blockbuster fight.
Right.
Who do you think? What, you know what? You know who he should match him up with?
What was the name?
Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Right? Because Eddie Hearn's always gassing up. You know, Conor Benn versus Josh Kelly in the UK is a massive fight.
Conor Benn
versus Terrence Crawford will be
140 pounders or old guys, and they trying to get credit for it. So why not? But at the end of the day, if Crawford's a free agent, he can do whatever he wants. Eddie Hearns, if you're not gonna make no money, he ain't signing you.
Okay. Yeah, GGG. By the way, I saw Nandada's question. GGG completely ruined Kell Brook. He was never the same fighter. That's why I always say there's two Kell Brooks. There's pre-Golovkin Kell Brook and there's post-Golovkin Kell Brook. So that's what it is, man. Why was Triple G even connected to a champ at 147 in Brook? That's the better question. That's really the better question. Well, at that time, that was 2017. So we know Canelo at that time was on that bullshit about he was actually threatening to not make the Golovkin fight happen, because if they didn't make the fight happen at 155, he wasn't going to make the fight happen. It was a stalling tactic.
That was before he became big either too. He was big. Yeah, he's now.
Yeah. So that stalled.
Stall tactics.
Honestly, I don't even know. From the Golovkin side of things, I have no clue why the hell he wanted to fight Kell Brook. Why he fought Kell Brook, other than the fact that it was a money grab and he's fighting a welterweight. So that's what it is. Gary Antoine Russell, future pound for pound. I like that name, and I like Gary Antoine. Yeah. Before I get to your question, that's the fight. Really, if you guys ask me, the fight that your boy BT is the most excited for is Gary Antoine Russell versus Victor the Iceman Postal, February 26th, co-main event. Yeah. Chris Colbert, Roger Gutierrez, undercard. Gonna be a hell of a show.
To Russell, because he's not pulling no punches. He's going to knock out Postal.
Yeah,
he's going for a knockout. Very confident.
Victor
Postal. But then again, Russell's a confident family, so why not?
But he asked, you got any updates on Angelo Leo, if he's moving up or staying down in 2022? I haven't gotten anything from Angelo. I'm gonna hit Angelo up soon. I'm gonna ask him when he gets some fight news if he can break it here on True School Sports, because I'm wondering my damn self. I'm wondering if
every day we talk about
is he gonna go to 122 still? Is he gonna go to 126? If I had to make a guess, I personally think he would go up to 126 and he would pursue maybe get a tune-up fight to get acclimated, to get adjusted to the weight, and then try to become a two-division champion.
We were just talking about that. We thought he was going to come out. Today we're talking about, remember we're talking about, maybe he's going to be just come out fights, and he's not. So we'll see what happens.
My brother, wait, I got to ask, am I getting trolled? He says Gary Anton Russell. This can't be the Gary Anton Russell. No. It's not him. It's not him. He's probably Hyro. My brother saw Andrade and Plant sparring, and he said that Andrade gave Plant a beating. That's definitely Hyro. But hey, I heard he did good against Plant as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Andrade versus Benavidez is good matchmaking. I prefer Charlo versus Andrade. Well, there's a lot of things we would prefer, but sometimes we can't get those things because some fighters don't believe themselves. Right. Don't believe in themselves like they should, and that's Jamal Charlo. RR1000. He says True School in the mother effing house. Absolutely, champ. We here. Good to see you. Hope you're good. And God bless you. BT, the winner of Benavidez and Andrade will be a unified interim champion. Now think about that, because Benavidez is fighting for the interim WBC, Lemieux, and Andrade will be fighting Crawford. Right. So if they both win those fights and fight each other, So it's a unification fight.
He's so bad. We'll see what.
Let me see. Now, Real, this is gonna be a good matchup. What do you think about Gary Antoine Russell versus Isaac Cruz?
Oh man, that'd be a good fight. But what's going on with him? What's he doing now? We don't hear nothing from him no more. Who's he fight next?
Cruz? I don't know, but that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I want to see Gary Antoine Russell fight Cruz, or I want to see Cruz fight Otar Arinosian. Otar. If you don't know
Otar, you will.
Okay, yeah. No, if you don't know who Otar Arinosian is, go check him out. He'll make some noise at 135, and he'll be at that top level real soon. Devin Haney versus Gary Antoine Russell. Oof. I don't think that's a fight that the Haneys will want to entertain. Yeah. But hey, we'll see. Because I can already hear Bill Haney in my head. If the young brother want to fight Dev, if you want to see that Devin Haney's the motherfucking truth, he gonna fight Dev. Yeah. But the money got to be right.
Yeah. Bring the money.
Gary Antoine Russell is a 140 pounder. Where are you getting these ideas from? Well, not me. I'm just answering questions, Hyro. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a cool fight, but if Isaac Cruz want to go up to 140,
yeah.
Isaac Cruz, the fat 140 pounder, he's gonna be up there looking like freaking Andy Ruiz, all chubby and shit.
Hey man, I'm gonna just talk a little bit. Tio Frimo, man. I mean, something came out. He's mad at the fans. He's mad about. He's still disillusioned about his loss with Cambosis. He feels like he still won. He said, "Screw being humble." He said, "Screw being humble. I got all these endorsements. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't lose that fight." He sounds just like his father.
It sounds like a coping mechanism.
He needs to accept the fact that he lost that fight, accept the fact that he's still blessed to have his endorsements, and accept the fact that he's starting turning a new leaf, going to a new division, and moving on.
That's it, man.
That's what I feel about that, because when I seen that, I'm like, are you serious? You still believe that he won that fight? That the referees robbed him, that he's mad at the fans because the fans started booing him out because he wanted credit to Cambosis? Move on from that, man.
Yeah.
The first thing of you getting to be better or moving up from when you lost is accepting the loss and moving on. If you don't know that, ask Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Move on.
Now, I had an interesting piece of information I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
All right. Now, Tevin Farmer posted this today on his Twitter. This is actually a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
He said Tevin Farmer versus Mickey Bay coming soon. Now, for those of you that know and don't know, Mickey Bay was a world champion back in the day. Good fighter. I think he fought below his potential, but good fighter. And he hasn't boxed since he lost to George Kambosos. And in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, but the guy that gave George Kambosos the toughest fight at 135 of all the guys that got split decisions losses was him. He was the only one that I actually thought fought George that deserved a split decision loss. Tio didn't deserve a split decision loss. It should have been a UD. And what's his name? Lee Selby didn't deserve a split either. This is the only guy that earned a split decision loss from George Kambosos. Yeah. So a good fighter. He hasn't been active for a while, but guess what? Neither has Tevin Farmer. So two inactive fighters.
They really want to fight?
They do want to fight.
It's been going on for years.
Not years, but I've been hearing about this since I was in Vegas.
Oh wow!
So I'm not gonna lie. I want to see this fight. I want to see Mickey Bay fight Tevin Farmer.
Who do you think?
I think Mickey Bay could beat Tevin Farmer.
Yeah.
I think he could.
Would have been enough to do it. You know what I mean?
I really think he could. He's been training these fighters. I'm sure. We'll see what he can do.
I'm so glad that.
He's like, yeah, well, I can't. He's like, yeah, I've been in here with the young guy Dev, and Dev's a great. I gotta work on the Mickey Bay impression, but Mickey Bay, there's a lot of things going on with Mickey Bay right now. You see this picture right here. This is on Mickey Bay's Instagram. Mickey Bay also, because I mentioned he's been training fighters. Mickey Bay also is helping train Edgar Berlanga for his next fight with Steve Rolls. Now, I think this is it's an interesting change. We'll see if it winds up being good, but it's an interesting change. And I'm glad Edgar is at least trying something different. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being loyal to your trainer, and maybe I'm sure Mickey Bay is not the head trainer, but I'm sure Andre Rozier is still in charge, and Mickey Bay is just there to assist and add to what they already got going on there. But I like the change. Mickey Bay has a lot of knowledge as a fighter to pass on to these young fighters. He's a fighter that a guy that spent a lot of time. Most people don't know this, but Mickey Bey was a guy that, as a young man, spent a lot of time learning boxing and training with Emmanuel Stewart.
Wow.
Same thing. Same thing with Sugar Hill Stewart. He's a very insightful person, and I've seen him in the gym working with fighters. And I'm not going to make any bold proclamation saying he's the next great trainer or anything like that. But I do think Mickey Bey has a lot of things to give to Edgar. And I think that Edgar needs to work on the nuanced things of boxing, like feinting, like changing the speed of his punches. And someone that did that when he fought himself was Mickey Bey. Right. So I feel like he's the kind of guy that can add these little things to Edgar to improve Edgar, because I like Edgar, but we got to be real. Yeah. Edgar Berlanga needs some work. He needs to learn how to feint. He needs to work on some things if he wants to get to that next level.
More tools to the box. That's all.
Yeah, because he's getting to that point now where it's like.
What I like about Mickey Bey, just like I like of Sugar Hill still, is to have that calmness on how to speak to people.
Yeah.
And how to teach, and not yell, and not this, and not that, and sometimes it helps the fighter.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question, but yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen with Mickey Bey as a fighter and Mickey Bey the trainer. And you know what, I might have to get Mickey Bey on the channel and talk to him about what's going on with him. We got Efrio says Mickey Bey has been out the ring too long. Yeah, he has, but Tevin Farmer's been out the ring for too long, so I think it's a fight that makes sense. Once the four kings move up and Mickey Bey stays dedicated, he can win another title. He could. He was a talented fighter. Talented fighter. You never know. In boxing, things happen, but titles become vacant all the time. So it's never, you never rule it out if he stays dedicated and can get some good wins under his belt. Because when he fought Kambosos a couple years ago, wow, he was right there with him. And look what Kambosos went on to accomplish. So it shows you the level he's at. Yeah. But or he was at one point. BT, when are you going to get the Nico Ali Walsh interview? People are jealous of him. Now they're saying he is not Ali's grandson. Well, I do question it myself. Nico Ali Walsh, maybe when I go to Vegas, I'll be in Vegas for about 2 weeks in the middle of March. So maybe our paths cross. Maybe they don't, but we'll see. Dandara says he needs work, but Cosetas gave Billy Joe good work. He does, and Cosetas gives a lot of fighters good work. In fact, if anything, what Cosetas did to Berlanga actually made Billy Joe's win against Cosetas look really good. Wow. In hindsight. So it is what it is. But listen, guys, on that note, I'm not gonna extend the live too much longer. Yeah. I'm gonna get out of here. But before I get out of here, let me give you guys some programming reminders and some things to look out for here on True School Sports. Tomorrow, I got an 11-minute interview with Sugar Hill Stewart dropping on the channel, so please check that. It was a hell of a conversation. Check that out. It'll be out tomorrow. I got interviews that I got today that I'm gonna work on that'll be out over the coming days with Chris Colbert, Michelle Rivera, Eric Lantis Jr., and we'll get more as well as time goes on. But got that. We got the lives on Saturday, 2 live fight reactions, 3 fight cards. So stay tuned. Keep supporting the channel. Keep on being here, and just thank you guys for all the love and support. A lot of people tell us we make their day, and you guys definitely make our day. So thank you. We'll get to like 2 more comments, questions, and then two, maybe 3, maybe 4 more questions, and we'll get up on out of here. Yeah. Dandada says, why is Nico Ali Walsh questioned about being Muhammad Ali's grandson? I have no clue, to be honest. You got to do homework on that one. Because I'm not mistaken, I think his mom is Muhammad Ali's sister. Is it? Or daughter? Yes. Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. They were we just have to look into it. What do you think of Dave Morrell versus Edgar Berlanga? If they fought right now, I think Dave Morrell would beat Edgar Berlanga. Yeah. I think Edgar Berlanga is lacking those nuanced skills to beat a fight like Dave Morrell. Morrell's tough too. Dave Morrell can punch, southpaw, very rhythmic. It'll be a good fight though. Berlanga still can be a bit robotic sometimes. Mm-hmm. I just think. But having that new Berlanga needs work. He needs work. And having that new voice and Bay behind him is a big thing. Yeah. Great show, BT. You and Pops take care. You take care too, Lance. Thank you, Lance and Efrio. It's all love. Thank you for the feedback, bro. Much love to you and Pops, and much love to you. Guys, hopefully we see some of you guys here Friday and Saturday for the lives. Whenever you can. I'm gonna try to go live. I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk about. We'll figure that out. Maybe we'll bring someone on to spice things up a little bit. But we put people on and they can have comments what they want to talk about. We'll figure it out. But listen. You guys take care. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care.